of certain mushrooms are quite mind-blowing. So today I'm going to take some of the confusions that people have about mushrooms and just make it really, really simple. So if you have a very specific health problem, you'll know exactly what to take. Now, I'm going to primarily focus on 4 different types of mushrooms, okay? But they're in the family of fungus, okay, or fungi. And fungi is very interesting because there's more related DNA-wise to a fungus than there is to plants. In other words, like plants have photosynthesis, so they actually breathe in CO2 and they make oxygen. Well, mushrooms, which is a type of fungus, don't do that. They breathe in oxygen and release CO2, very similar to humans. They actually share percent of their DNA, which basically means they have certain blueprints that make certain chemicals that we can use for the benefit of our own health. Fungi is the largest and oldest organism on planet Earth. In fact, in just one handful of soil from the forest, you have literally 26 miles of a certain type of fungi called mycelium. So there is a tremendous amount of fungus working in the soil with the roots of
Mycelium
plants,
network.
exchanging different
That right
nutrients to
there
make
is
sure that
light.
plant has the nutrients that it needs
What's
and
up,
getting
Justin?
certain sugars from their food. And so really it's the fungus that mobilize the minerals in the soil.
Here's a FYI. The mycelia network of mushrooms, if on the surface collects dew and bees drink that dew that came from the mycelia network of mushrooms, it turns on their immune system.
And so without this fungus, the plant really has a hard time getting nutrition. Fungus is also responsible like organic matter, trees, wood, leaves, etc. So they are the great recyclers. Today we're going to talk about 4 key mushrooms that you need to know about. And I want to make it really, really simple for you. The first one is the reishi mushroom, okay? This mushroom could be thought of as a natural Xanax. Now, of course, I'm not promoting medication, but this is the natural version without the side effects. And what does that medication do? It's purported to help you with anxiety and helping you calm down. Therefore, it's also good for sleep. If you want to increase your tolerance to stress, if you want to counter stress and cortisol, this mushroom might be a good one to add to your diet. The next one is lion's mane, okay?
This one's a good
Because
one.
it looks like a lion's mane. This one could be considered like a natural Adderall, but without the side effects. What is that drug? Well, it's used for people with cognitive problems, attention deficit issues. And a lot of college students take it to increase their learning abilities because it kind of speeds up the central nervous system to a certain degree. Of course, it has a lot of side effects. But lion's mane is specifically good for cognitive function, improving focus, concentration, memory. A lot of people take it as a coffee replacement in the morning, but it has some really interesting benefits in repairing and regenerating nerve tissue and myelin sheath around the nerve. It has something called the neurotrophic factor, which just helps support nerve growth in general, specifically in the area of the brain called the hippocampus, which is involved with cognitive function to a certain degree. This mushroom also has been known to increase something called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. That's kind of like Miracle-Gro, but for your brain. So it helps the nerves grow. So when you think about lion's mane, think cognitive improvements and anything related to a breakdown in your brain, like neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia. Then we have the
That's why I'm showing this, Joseph, because it's actually some real good information that you can, it's a holistic way of looking at medicine that people don't know about.
shiitake
And it
mushroom.
works.
That mushroom is good for blood pressure. It's really beneficial for your gut microbiome. A good portion of our immune system is in the gut, and shiitake mushroom can actually increase the killer T cells, which are responsible for killing viruses. And the
Hold
last
on.
one, which I think is the most interesting,
Did you hear that? Let's hear that again.
killer T cells, which are responsible for killing viruses. And the last one, which I think is the most interesting, is the turkey tail mushroom. This one has been researched the most. When you think of turkey tail, you want to think of anti-cancer properties. But as far as turkey tail goes, I would recommend anyone who has cancer to start taking it immediately. It has a non-specific immune modulating action, which basically strengthens the immune system overall. So if someone is on chemo or radiation, turkey tail is great to take against cancer. The white blood cells actually eat certain compounds in this mushroom, like beta glucans, and consume it, carry it into the lymphatic system to help cause the cancer cell to commit suicide. That's called apoptosis. A normal cell would basically kill itself as a kind of a greater good for the body. But a cancer cell basically lives forever. Now, turkey tail also reduces inflammation in your gut, which is also related to your immune system as well. Because if you think about cancer, cancer tends to spread into areas of inflammation. All right, so reishi is good as a natural Xanax for calming down the flight or fight mechanism or cortisol. Then we have lion's mane, which is everything to do with cognitive function, helping you concentrate, helping you focus. Then we have shiitake, which is three things: cholesterol, blood
Hey, how's
pressure,
it going, Andy?
and your immune system. And then we have turkey tail, which it has a potent anti-cancer effect. All right, so I hope I gave you some clarity on what these mushrooms are good for. And so the next time you have a certain problem, you'll know exactly what mushroom to take or eat. Since I mentioned cancer and a good remedy for that, if you have not seen this video on cancer, it would be very, very smart to watch it. And I put that video up right here.
Right on. So what do you guys think about that video? Yeah, it's about natural mushrooms. And if you research even more about everything our government does, you'll find the Forest Service was given a mandate to destroy the turkey tails and the lion's manes when they come across them out in the forest, along with other mushrooms that grew on trees that were highly beneficial for bees. So it's amazing that our government's been destroying the one thing that can cure us without us giving all of our money to pharmaceutical companies and hospitals and insurance companies. What's up, Jeffro? But anyhow, that was just one of the videos I wanted to show you guys. Let's see. This one here is going to be a pretty good one as well. Share screen. It's the history of world reserve currencies. About 55 seconds long. Look at that, the US dollar down to 14%. And it grew again. This is the war on money picture. Pretty cool, huh?
This is Sundays for Dogs.
And that's the end of that one. Little quickie on, hey, what's up, Independent? That's a little quickie on the history of the US dollar and how much it has been held as a world reserve currency for the past 100 years. And it was down to 14% there. So it's not uncommon for us to go through these kind of things that we're going through right now, death of dollar, whatnot. But blah-de, blah-de, blah, bleedy, bleedy, bleedy. Here's another great video. This one I'm real excited to show y'all. It's about 5 minutes. It's good. It's good.
Why do the unintelligent think they are intelligent? In 1995 in the United States, a man named MacArthur Wheeler decided to rob a bank in broad daylight without wearing any kind of mask. Once the theft was completed, Our hero decided to do the same in another bank soon after, in both cases smiling at the surveillance cameras before leaving. The man was then arrested the same evening after being identified by the police in the recordings of bank cameras. At the time of his arrest, a very surprised MacArthur asked the officers how they had recognized him, as he had covered his face with lemon juice. According to MacArthur, the lemon juice would have made him invisible to cameras and was genuinely surprised when he discovered that it did not. His belief was founded on having incorrectly interpreted the chemical properties of lemon juice on invisible ink. This cognitive bias inspired two psychologists, Justin Kruger and David Dunning, to conduct an in-depth study on the subject in 1999. What surprised the psychologists most was the thief's sense of security. He was so convinced to be right that he even insinuated that the video recordings had been tampered. Dunning and Kruger conducted a study on a large sample of students, who were tested in various categories, such as logical reasoning, correct use of grammar, and a sense of humor. Once the test was completed, they were asked to estimate their results at an absolute level and in relation to the results of other students. The result was that the students with the worst results were those who most of all overestimated their results, and by a lot.
Hey, Cheryl.
They all believed they were well above average. So not only were they incompetent, but they didn't have the faintest idea of how mediocre they were in relation to their peers. The students with the best results, on the other hand, had a better idea of their abilities. But in any case, despite being aware of being better than the average, they too made a mistake. They underestimated their skills. Paradoxically, they believed that they had actually done worse than the result obtained. But why? Simply because the test seemed relatively easy for them, so they believed it was easy for everyone, unaware of their own superior skills. Today, the Dunning-Kruger effect is known all over the world. The most incompetent people do not have the ability to recognize their own incompetence and believe themselves better than they actually are. The natural consequence of this total lack of self-awareness is that if they don't obtain the desired results in a specific field, as often happens, they'd look for excuses and scapegoats to justify their failures, instead of asking themselves what the real reason behind it was. On the screen, you can see the curve of the Dunning-Kruger effect. On the vertical axis, you'll find self-confidence, and on the horizontal axis, experience. People without knowledge often tend to have enormous self-confidence while living in a state of total ignorance. Further on, those who manage to improve themselves and acquire knowledge understand how little they knew before and begin to lose some confidence in themselves. Only later, once they become experts in a certain topic, they regain their confidence and know they're really much more prepared than others on this subject. Basically, we humans are not very good at self-evaluating ourselves. Most of us believe we're better than what we are, and almost all of us, some to a greater extent than others, have been affected by this cognitive bias. Let me explain this better with a quick figurative example. Rob loves playing chess. He's been playing almost every day with his friends for 6 months, and he always wins. Rob is convinced that he's very strong and that he knows basically everything there is to know about the game. If we asked Robert at what level he thinks he is, his answer would be in the top 5% of players in the world. Mark is a professional chess player. He's traveled the world to play tournaments and is truly among the best in the world. Mark is fully aware that he knows a lot about this game, but he also knows that the number of possible moves and strategies in chess is huge, and he's far from knowing everything. Being perfectly aware of this situation, Mark knows that there's a gray area of non-knowledge, seen by him as room for improvement. You can see this on the screen. Rob, on the other hand, is totally unaware that this gray area exists. In his opinion, that area does not exist. This is the reason why Rob is so sure that he's close to knowing the game of chess to perfection. The problem here is that Rob knows what he knows, but he doesn't know what he doesn't know. Mark, however, is perfectly aware of his knowledge and is equally aware that there are things he does not know. The mistake that many people in Mark's situation make is to assume that others know what he knows, when this is just not the case. Often, this happens because less prepared individuals show so much confidence in themselves that it's easy to be misled. This is why people like Mark often tend to underestimate themselves in relation to others. Dunning and Kruger also noted that the most incompetent people tend to totally reject any form of criticism and have no interest in improving themselves. This is the reason why many people live their entire existence in mediocrity. A famous quote by Charles Darwin says, "Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge. It is those who know little, not those who know much, who so positively assert that this or that problem will never be solved by science." We can close by saying that having self-confidence is important, But even more important is being self-conscious and understanding what we're really good at and what we're not. Only this way can we make the right changes and take the appropriate actions to improve ourselves.
You see that? It says, accept constructive criticism.
Do you recognize any of your acquaintances or friends in this description? If you like, share some funny anecdotes in the comments section below.
Anyhow, there we go. Paul Stamets, I couldn't, he's got a whole bunch. He's got 17 patents on mushrooms and the health effects they have on them. I would definitely look at Paul Stamets and all of his products that he has. He has lion's tail, lion's mane, turkey's tail, all done up in prescription style sales. So I would definitely check him out. And let's see, I have one more video to share.
Osmium is a platinum group, precious metal. It is significantly more rare than diamonds or gold. While it is toxic in its natural state, it is completely harmless in this crystalline form. The crystal structures are unique on every piece, which is the key to a very impressive security feature. It is very strong, hard, and reflective, similar to, or greater than diamonds. The price performance of osmium has been strong and steady, making it a suitable store of value. We see it becoming popular with stackers, and those who like knockout bling on their jewelry. Due to osmium's high value density, it is relatively easy to store and easy to move or transport. It will never tone or tarnish. Think generational wealth.
Man, there we go. By the way, the links at the top if anyone wants to join us up here, like Gerald, Indy, Jeffro, Cheryl, Annie. Who else is here? I guess that's everybody. Joseph, if you're still here. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to show that, basically that one thing about the mushrooms to let people know. If you looked at, rewatch this video, you'll find that 2 of those mushrooms actually work very good against the 19 thingy. And if you actually know a lot about the research on that, you will find out that the president of Tanzania was assassinated because he was a scientist that disbelieved the whole premise of the COVID thing. And when the WHO sent his country a whole bunch of tests for the 19, he, as a true scientist, went out and did sample tests and found out that the test samples themselves would give you COVID. That's why all of them tested positive. He tested Coke cans, orangutans' butts, tables, and they all came back positive for COVID. So he threw all the samples away and came up with a herbal tea remedy that consisted of mushrooms and herbs. And he gave that out to his people and prevented them from getting the 19 throughout the country of Tanzania. But then he was assassinated and replaced, and then they got COVID. Oh, shit, I shouldn't have said that word. But yeah, that's the importance of these mushrooms and why I say to check out Paul Stamets' fund, Host Defense Mushrooms. He has a lot of good mushroom supplements, come straight from the mushroom, put in little pills for you to take so you don't have to like eat the mushroom itself. He did 17 years of scientific study with I think the last 8 of them were with University of Washington, Washington State, a little bit north of Many, Independent Many. And that's when I hooked up with him, because he was doing research on the mycelia network that he discovered about the mushrooms, and that's when he was introduced to a bee, came along and introduced himself to him, and he got into studying bees, and that's when I got involved with him, Paul Stamets, because I was doing studies on bees that were unconventional, and he was doing unconventional studies on mushrooms, and therefore doing unconventional studies on bees, and he and I hooked up that way. But yeah, it's interesting when you do unconventional studies, the people you meet. And like I said, right now he has 17 patents that he's got in the past couple of years on the health benefits of mushrooms, lion's mane and tiger's tail being 2 of the better ones. Jethro, that's why independent media such as Neil's Han Dynasty is around, to bring you this information, and also let you know about Paul Stamets. And then all you got to do, don't look for a quote unquote cure. When you look for information, just look for the information and then put together, oh, okay, so that would work for this because of that. And that way you don't get like red flagged. Hey! Sorry about that, little cat fight. That way you don't get red flagged. Yeah. Well, again, just check out, Google Paul Stamets Foundation. You should go to, you'll come to a site that he has where he sells all of his product, and it's new. Oh, that's also when I was working with him when he was studying on mushrooms and bees, and I was doing my studies on bees, and I hooked up with him. Found out the University of Washington actually discovered a red kelp, and they were working on and had gotten permission to market in a limited area. If you fried up this red kelp, it tasted just like bacon. So I've been waiting to see if I was going to see if that hit the market, because it was supposed to have been a vegan replacement for bacon, but I haven't seen it hit the market yet. But if you're in, I guess it test was probably in the Washington State, Oregon State area. I'm not exactly sure where they did the test samples for that, but I found that to be rather cool. Stamens. It's up here if you scroll up. Oh, thank you very much, Jay. Man, JM is the bomb. I was fixing to say, if you scroll up, it'll have his name up there. I put this is a little bit of information on him. What was it I put? Yeah, Paul Stamets funded Host Defense Mushrooms. Host Defense Mushrooms is the name of the company. There we go, right there. But yeah, JM's a bomb, man. Yeah, Paul Stamets, Host Defense Mushrooms, and then of course, one of my moderators outdid me and gave you the website. So there you go. If you don't get the information from me, you'll get it from my moderators, because they're just as smart, if not smarter than me. Oh, and I hooked up with, I actually sold locally one of my nose rings to a friend of mine who helped start the AIDS Coalition in this, in the North Bay. So he's really hooked up with guys that like to go to, say, Night of the Dead. They actually dress up in total regalia, and they're really big into jewelry. So I was like, here, Kenny, take this, because he's going to the hospital next week, and he's going to have his friends take him there, and I want them to see that with that nose ring. So I'll probably get a lot more sales just from that specific type advertising, which I find kind of humorous, and well, taking advantage of the opportunity that presents itself through vanity. And that's what nose rings are, is vanity. So Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that leads me back to Independent Mini. I'm looking probably sometime in November. I'll be able to get you a pair of those stud earrings of crystallized osmium that I told you I'd get you about a couple months ago. I haven't forgotten about you. My plans were delayed because I trusted someone else to do something they said they would do. And 2 months after having my crap, they did nothing. And that totally delayed me big time. But that's my own naive nature of believing people at their word. But I am good to my word, and it will happen. So sometime in November. And you're probably not here, so it doesn't matter. You didn't hear that, but you can listen to it on the replay. Oh, you are here. Okay. And like I said, pinned to the top is the link if anyone wants to hop up here and participate in the conversation. I'm a man of my word. I also I'm going to give one of these nose rings to neighbor next door where I built that sound room music studio for. One of his clients wants to use it. And like right now, he's gone out on tour for a week, so he won't be back for a week. And then he's going to be gone most of the winter on tour, I think, around the nation. I don't think he's leaving the continent this time, but I won't be able to get him as... I mean, I would really like to have someone in his band wear a nose ring because obviously they go on national and international tours and get 15, 20,000 people at their concerts. So that would obviously be a good advertisement as well, but I haven't hooked up with him yet on that. Oh, and still haven't been able to get the commercial done for the osmium nose rings because his wife went out of town to Vegas, shoot some sort of commercial. She took her camera, which is the high definition camera that JM Unleashed likes me using for the commercials. So the commercial's being delayed till she gets back and he gets back from tour. And then I'll be able to shoot the nose ring skit. Hey, JM Unleashed, brother, you have no worries. I was there entertaining people for quite some time. I heard lots of giggles, and I'm sure there was lots of eye rolls. Until people came on and started talking about things that just, there's more depth to it than what they're saying. Yeah, no, Gerald, I'm going to get him a nose ring. Actually, once I hooked up with these Silverboard Blues, I'm going to be sending him probably 20 pieces of the 2mm squares to put in some nose rings that his fiance and his daughter are into jewelry, and they got a lot of things they were working out having them do it. So I should have quite a few nose rings to sell. Oh, you know it, girl. There ain't everyone's saying Neil take over California first. No way. I'm going for the $425,000 a year job. That's president. And if I can't get that one, I'll take that one. I hear it pays pretty good too. And my slogan, I can fix shit. That way young kids won't vote for me, so it won't be like voter fraud and stuff. Because their parents will be like, oh no, he used curse words, don't vote for him. What's up, Zardos? Zardos is going to vote for me. You know what? I'll have to talk to Don. I'll have to talk to the Don. If they'll shoo me in, I'll take governor. But it'll have to be a shoo in. I don't want to have to fight all these idiots in this state to get it. And trust me, it would be an uphill battle in the state. Lots of money to be thrown at defeating me. I'd rather, and I'm sure Gerald, you would approve of this, I'd rather go to Alabama and start working on a solar and wind power catamaran design instead of wasting my time trying to save California. But I could be wrong. I doubt it. Usually not. So does anyone want to come up on the panel? Sorry, I'm fixing some tea. Can't do anything without tea in this world. Tea is vital. Wars have been started over the lack of tea, the taxing of tea, too much tea. No, I never think there's a war because of too much tea. The lack of tea and taxing tea, there's been wars fought over. True that, Jeffro. But what you got to look at is this time actually is different because of the end of the cycles. And those are more important, and no one's really talking about them. They said it, boom, over with, whatever. But no one really can anyone explain the importance of the 80, the 50, and the 100-year cycle that came to an end? And quote unquote are restarting. What happens when things start? Oh, hold on, opportunity. But no one's talking about any of this crap. No one can even tell me what those cycles are. But every one of you's heard of people talking about the 50-year cycle is ending, which, by the way, the 50-year cycle, hi Joy, the 50-year cycle was the end of the fiat dollar. Right now, we're actually paying off our national debt with the fiat dollar because it's overextended its life, which means that it's basically 106% inflated because it was built for 50 years at a 2% average 2% inflation rate, which means that it's supposed to have lasted 50 years, which should have ended it in 2021. So we're on overdue time right now with the dollar. So we're probably paying off more of the debt than we think we are. Being inflation is a hidden tax. Well, right now, the dollar is 106% inflated from 1971. If there's a built-in 2% inflation, and it's been 53 years, that's 106, not 100. So, yeah, I think Southern California might break off. They're talking about a lot of scientists are coming up, and they do this every so often. But a lot of them are coming up saying they're concerned about a sudden movement happening in the San Andreas Fault, the lower Southern California area. That's one thing you can be guaranteed of, Jethro. The Fed is expert at one thing for sure, and that is they are kings of can kicking. They can tell you how far they're going to kick it down the road, and they're exactly right. And then they'll kick it again. And that's the only thing you can be guaranteed of is they're going to kick it down the road. Excuse my French and pardon moi, ladies, but they ain't got no backbone, ain't got no intestinal fortitude, ain't got no nuts. Because that's what it's going to take to lead. You're going to need all of those because people who hate you because you're going to do things unpopular because you're going to have to take away services such as, I don't know. If we took away Section 8, how much money could we save as a nation just taking away Section 8? Or here, we don't even have to take it away. All we'd have to do is take away the inheritance of Section 8. Yes, you heard that correctly. In California, Section 8 housing, which is for people who are of low income and not having the chance to get out, it is now inherited to your children. When the bleep, bleep, bleep did that come about? You want to know why we are in debt up above our booty holes? It's because of stupid legislation like that's been passed. Hey, JM, how's it going? Sorry about that, brother. I was just going on a little rant. And I know that for a fact here in California. And it might just be in California, the state Section 8 that's doing that.
No worries, man. Just let me know when it's my turn to talk.
Yeah, you spoke with Indy before, Zan, right? Yeah? Uh-huh. I'm going to mute Indy. Hold on a second here. You can talk anytime you want, Shahil.
No worries. Actually, I usually don't talk too much. Like, the words games I do Monday nights. After that, my voice is shot. That's the most talking I do in a week.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's
I
true.
need to give lectures. I love talking facts.
Yeah.
It's just
I think you'd be a really good professor, or
if I
teacher. Yeah, giving lectures for sure.
if I had like my stuff formatted where I could have a structured layout of the conversation with facts that I could back up on like cue cards, put up on a screen or something to. Because my big concern is I think because I'm skeptical of everything I hear and stuff anyhow. So I'm always my first concern is people don't believe me. It's like, who are you? So I always try and and that's why when I do my videos on my show, I show other people's videos and I do some narrating on top of it. Because I mean, yeah, we talk to each other, we know each other, but do you know anything about me? Do you know if I'm trustworthy? I mean, I have these questions about everybody, so I like to try and be as authenticated as possible and self fact check, to where people can have a couple different outlets to look at to see if I'm bullshitting them or not. Because I don't like misleading people, and I like, while I'm doing my videos, showing that people can check other things to check what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know you've mentioned it before too. Realizing that there's a good chance the content on this platform could be around potentially forever.
Yeah.
But everybody makes mistakes. I've noticed a couple times, especially on a live stream, people that really know their stuff will mix the numbers up or
Oh yeah.
wrong words. So I guess as long as the message, the underlying message that you're giving is bang on, I guess you can always go back and make edits or put corrections, like a lot of newspapers do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They come out with a story that's like way off. It can even be on the front page. Facts and figures are all messed up, and then a week later at the back they've got correction to their full page article.
Some of the stories that I want to do, I don't do. I turn over to others because they have a better platform to do the story, and it's more advantageous to get the word out and to benefit them.
Yep.
I turn over a lot of my stories to Ninja. I just do mostly West Africa stuff.
You mean like you send him an email on the article, or?
No. I'll call him, ask him if he's interested, and then he'll ask me to send him a few links. And so I'll send him a few links if he's interested, and then he'll usually do the story on it.
Okay. Very cool. He's a busy guy, man. And I noticed you're starting to live stream a lot more often now, too.
I've called him when he's been in so many different places in the world. I'm like, where are you right now? He's like, oh, I'm in the airport here, fixing to go here. I'm like, dude, thanks for answering the phone, man. I know you're a busy guy. But he always answers when I call. So no matter where he's at in the world, if he's on the plane, obviously he's not talking on the phone. But like I called him like a half hour before he did that Neil McCoy award when he went to England, because I told him where to go in Scotland, check some stuff out. And then like half hour later, I was moderating the show. I didn't even know he was going to go live with Neil, and he picked up the phone. So right on.
That is right on. It's amazing too. It doesn't matter how famous someone is or how wealthy or how much you may look up to them for whatever reason. We're all human.
Well, a friend is a friend, man, and he respects me for being me and my stances, and ditto back at him, and we have just a mutual respect for each other. He's got a better platform, he's got better leads, he's got and that's good for him. Right on, that's his mission, and I totally support that.
Yep.
And he actually is trying to go out of his way to help me, and I'm telling him, no, I don't want your help this way, but thank you. I'll let you know when I need your help. And it's baffling him that I'm not accepting his help. He's like, yeah, but anyhow, that's another story. I work differently. I'm waiting until I'm in a position with this crystallized osmium stuff or my lightning crystal stuff.
But what if he could help you out with that stuff? And
he can, and he will.
But why wouldn't you let him?
I'm not in a position yet. I want to have. There's a couple of things I'm going to allow him to help me with. One of them is he's very interested in what I'm doing with this crystallized osmium, but I got to have some stuff to show him. I don't just want to show him one thing.
So I like the lightning art too.
Well, yeah, no, he's
And beehives.
He's going to do he's probably going to do a live stream on the lightning crystal thing. He already told me he was going to. And then, yeah, he'll probably do a live stream once I get a finished prototype on the beehive design as well. So then that's how I'll use him, because he's a direct marketing to 500,000 people. So I want to very, very, very cautious on how I allow him to help me, because I don't want him. I mean, it's a big help, obviously, because he's a big channel, you know.
Yep.
But I don't want to like overuse him. I don't want, I don't want him to think I'm like that guy, what you call, I don't know.
I was taught from a young age to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
So different approach, and so that's why I had to ask you that.
Well, the iron's going to be hot for a while.
Totally
actually, it's just heating up. Actually, it's not even got red hot yet.
Good answer.
It's I'm going to use him when it's time to strike. Trust me, I've read the Art of War by Sun Tzu and the Indian version, and there's lots of good philosophies to follow that have merit to them, and you just wait till the time is right. Sometimes you think the time is right, and that's why I always looking at the other side of the coin, because how do you know the time, and anything is right unless you see what's going to come after your decision, what's next, how's that going to look, and you actually follow through with the thoughts of what that decision would be, and you'll find you might not make that decision because you could make a better decision that would be more beneficial longer term down the road, but not as quick a return on investment. And those are usually your better decisions to make. But most people go for the quick greed and of the quick turnaround, and to make the decision that's most advantageous at that time for the quick return on investment or the quickest return on positive results, without looking at the long-term side effects or harmful effects that could do. And that's why a lot of people are failures.
I have another question for you. Did you notice the spelling?
What's up, Gigi?
Hey, Gigi. Did you notice the spelling for the title of your live stream?
No. Did I spell something wrong?
I didn't make it to your
Saturday. Dog sure did. Son of a gun.
But I think
I'm going to report myself.
You spelled it with
I'm going to report myself.
So I was just starting to wonder if you're doing that on purpose.
No, I hit the wrong button, dude, and I didn't notice it because I was trying to set up several tabs.
Yeah.
And I wasn't paying attention.
Gotcha. I know you don't like typing to begin with. You're like,
no, I don't, because I've had, unlike most likely anyone in this chat, I've had a couple tons land on my fingers, and they've been squished pretty cool.
Yep.
Matter of fact, one of them. Hold on, let me see which one it was. Actually, I think it's kind of funny. Oh yeah, my right hand. Well, actually, both. Ooh, wow. My index finger on my left hand actually is like 15 degrees turned to the left outside from the other one, because it's been squished, and when it got squished, I guess it took a slight roll to it, and when it healed up, it didn't heal up back straight.
Yeah.
So yeah, typing's not, I haven't been doing office work my whole life.
It would make it tougher. For sure.
Well, I'm a lot better now. A couple of years ago when I started, I was like 3 words a minute. Now I can get like 15. So no training either.
For anyone that's curious, I've just switched my background image in honor of Gigi. For anyone that doesn't know, Gigi's unhinged. She's pretty squirrely. She's got a pretty cool channel. Does live streams, videos,
Yeah, feel free to throw up your show for sure.
She actually lives pretty close to me, so she would be a potential person for me to actually send a piece of osmium to
Yeah, there you go. There's Gigi's picture.
for a review. She's just a nut. But actually, you know, there's tons of people, and I'm seeing a lot of them at Independent Money's channel, Canadians, musicians.
Well, when it snows, what else can you do except for hang out in front of the fireplace and sing?
Oh man, cross country skiing, snowboarding.
No, see, that should be illegal, man. That shit's cold. I need to wait for technology to catch up to where I can just like throw on one layer of clothes and it keeps you at like 85 degrees no matter where you're at. Then I could enjoy that white stuff. But
Man. Yeah, we maybe we should do a coffee sometime, Gigi. Only thing is, I hate going right into Toronto. You know, I try to stay at least half an hour away. I don't mind going half an hour east, north, south, or west of Toronto. I drive around it, but I don't like going right into Toronto.
that's interesting, Jethro. I actually had my trigger finger right underneath the first bend of your index finger, your pointy finger. We were playing King of the Hill in Italy back in 73. Back then, cans, when you open them with a can opener, they actually left the sharp part to the top, unlike today where it's on the inside. And there was a can at the top, and I was like the smallest kid. I was a second grader. Everyone else was like fifth and sixth graders. So I was like jumping on their backs because I always, as GD knows, I always win. So to be king of the mountain, you had to get the mountain first. And this little sucker named Neil Hahn was climbing over people's backs. And I jumped and I grabbed the top of the hill and I slammed my hand down right on one of those cans and 3/4 cut my finger off while we were in Italy. And believe it or not, they only took 3 stitches to put it back together. But I still have nerve damage because when I was in the Army at the shooting ranges going for qualifications and stuff, I missed one because the nerve ending, I don't know, some kickback or something hit the finger the wrong way, and it caused my hand to jar up. And I didn't get 40 out of 40 out of 39 out of 40 because of that. So I didn't go sniper, obviously. But yeah, I cut one of my fingers off too. And they sewed it back on. But I was never a typist for no dang on Chicago Tribune like your dad, Jeffro. So anything else anyone want to talk about? I showed you a video. Yeah, and I'm getting here next couple of days. I'll have that video of the nose rings because the guy's wife went out of town with her camera to do work.
Yeah.
So I got scrubbed till she comes back.
Hey, Gigi, you may have got the impression that I'm north of Toronto because 90% of the time when I go on vacation or I go on a trip somewhere, I do go north, which ends up being north of Toronto. But yeah, pretty much west.
He takes off to the Great White North, man.
Mm-hmm. I would like to meet up with 15th Bend and Frank Terzo as well, for sure. For sure. Yeah, they're awesome people. Like I definitely don't feel like I can hold a candle to them when it comes to musical talent, skill, things like that. But I've got to know them well enough to know that they're there's a lot more to them than just music, even though that's the main thing I know them for. So yeah, I know they're really good people. But I got to tell you, anyone that wants to meet up for coffee, I'm not going to Starbucks.
Thank you very much for saying that.
I got a hard boycott.
I've been boycotting them for a long time.
Well, yeah, I never really intentionally boycotted them, but I don't know. I've maybe been in there 10 times total.
Man, I can't even afford to walk in the door. Although one time I did it after the first Trump election. I went in, you know how they ask for your name? I told them my last name was Trump, and I made them call it out.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm that kind of guy. Yeah. It was funny. Yeah, I'm an iron worker. I had a few of my buddies with me. I was like, watch this, guys. I walked up and ordered this. What's your name? Trump. Gerald Trump.
Right on.
And he said, Trump. Yeah. The whole fucking, all four of us were fucking, yeah, it's me. Just to piss him off.
Yeah, same here. I stopped buying coffee, like going through the drive-thrus and whatnot. Just a waste of time.
There it is.
There's brew my own now for a long time.
Let's see, we're the same kind of iron worker. We were building a job right beside the De Beers Diamonds building in San Francisco down on Green Street. It dead ends, and there's stairs that go down to the Castro, and there's a kick-ass cafe pastry place down there. And I was a connector with my buddy Paul, and they had a couple other hotshot bigwigs running that job. And the bolt-up foreman and the safety foreman were, and these are big iron workers. They were in this little red Miata, and the Castro district is the homosexual district of California, right? And I was with the owner's son and my partner. I was like, hey, check this out. Look at fucking Fish and Paul. And then this guy says, hey, look at those two faggots in the red Miata.
Yeah, that's funny.
These guys are so big they couldn't slide down far enough in the seat, and their faces started turning red. And we had to work with them that day too.
They're tiny little. Have you ever driven a Miata?
No, I haven't, but those things are small, man. And these boys were big.
Yeah. They are tiny little, and you know what? If you're even wearing boots, if it's manual, your boot will catch on the brake when you go to use the clutch.
Yeah, I imagine so. It looks
they're
like
fun to drive.
A little Tonker toy. Another thing we used to do if we were messing with a guy, we'd make signs saying "honk if you're gay in the bay," and we'd put it on the back of their car or back of their truck.
Oh,
so when they take off and stop and go traffic on 680 or 80, people would be honking at them all the way home. And they'd be driving like 40 miles to 11 million people get home, and they give us a call, you motherfucker.
I saw it was a video similar to that. It was a younger girl, and she had made like a bumper sticker, but it was big, and it said, "Help me piss off my grandmother. Honk your horn at her," and put it on the back of her bumper while they were driving around town. Everyone's honking. And so her grandma's like, "What's going on? Why is everybody honking?
Why is everyone honking at us?"
And she did. She got really upset.
That's a poor sense of humor.
Yeah.
Oh.
I used to really like pranking people back when I was younger. Now I don't really want to prank people that much. I'm like,
yeah, no, not now.
Life's tough enough. Like if I'm going to put energy into something, I'd rather have it help someone than trip them up.
Times are definitely different now than they were 10 years ago.
Yeah. But you still got to have fun, right?
Yeah. Well, I saw something. I should have paid attention to it. Something about part of having a positive existence included having fun and laughing. I don't remember what the study was I was reading that said that. It seemed kind of outrageous, so I didn't pay attention to it, but it just popped back in my mind as you said that. I wish I'd paid attention to that study.
It's totally true.
Yeah, especially now in these times, they said that was even more important to have a good sense of humor right now because there's so much stress out there.
Yep. It's it's an escape, but it does also have I don't want to get you a strike, but let's just say, it can stimulate neurological pathways that are positive, right? If you've got a positive frame of mind, you're more likely to go positive direction. If you're all negative and griping about everything all the time, you're likely actually to go down that path physiologically.
There's like at the beginning of this show, I showed that video of why stupid people are dangerous or something like that. Just because they think they're that stupid. And then they go off and do things. And you
Right
have results.
I just got a nice offer from Gigi.
Hey, let's keep it PG, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you definitely, yeah. See, that's the thing. That's why I tell myself, and this is one reason why I tell myself often before I go to bed, several times I tell myself I'm going to allow my subconscious to control more of my conscious decisions, because I believe that the 10% of our brain, or 15%, whatever number you want to believe that's been thrown out there, but I've never heard actually over 12% of our gray matter that we actually use in the conscious state. The rest of that brain power is being used in the unconscious state. And if you think about it, what's that mean? Okay, well, are you thinking about your heart rate and making your heart move? Are you thinking about pumping the blood in your body? Are you thinking about breathing? All these things are controlled by your subconscious, but yet very, very important to your life, and you don't control them. It's a natural thing.
You can change them.
You can, if you think about it. You can change them indeed, but it takes thoughtful process to get there. In other words, you have to unlock more of your subconscious in your conscious. And the way I've found to do that, and I'm not sure yet because I'm no expert and I've had no other subjects, human subjects to work with. It's just me, trying shit on my own. And some of the conclusions I've come up with is I've been making a lot better decisions innately. My instincts seem to be more acute and right, because I honestly believe that 85 to 87% or 88% of your subconscious that we don't use is more in tune with the way life should be. And I believe our consciousness is what throws us off from achieving our goals. In other words, like the word can't is the biggest FU you could do to yourself, because subconsciously it's telling you cannot do something. So therefore, if you try, you're not going to succeed because you already told yourself you cannot do it. And I do not like that word.
And Nikola Tesla is a great example of that. And so are many other people who came up with outstanding inventions. They failed and failed and failed. And if they ever, if they would have constantly been saying, there's no way I can do this, there's no way I can do it, they wouldn't have tested it the however many thousands of times and modified it that many times to actually come up with a successful result.
Yep. You learn as much through failures as you do through success.
You got to know when to throw in the towel too, though, like Kenny Rogers, the gambler.
It's scenario driven.
Yeah.
It's all scenario driven. And part of that scenario is the time in history that you're living in. Some things just aren't going to fly right now, like that would have flown 10 years ago, or maybe possibly 10 years from now, because of the economic turmoil, hard times, all this other stuff going on, acceptance levels of new ideas. People just aren't up for it right now. So this is, probably not the best time to come up with new innovative things. But having said that, now is the best time to come up with it, because you'll be first at the door when the worm turns, and you'll be head of the industry of whatever it is you're into, if you're really into it.
Oh yeah, it's always a good time to innovate. I was going to say that another very, very powerful thing that people can do is consciously look for things to be grateful for. and express the gratitude for it, because I think that it puts it out there that that is what you're looking for. I think too many people focus on the bad luck and they're like, oh, dang it, this happened, or dang it, that happened, and this didn't go my way and that didn't go my way. But if they started really actively looking for the things that did go right, things that went better than expected, and be grateful for it, that I think can have a programming effect on your subconscious mind. And if you believe in energy in the universe, it can accelerate attracting what you're looking for.
I think it goes along with what Mother Teresa said, and why she said she would never have a war on drugs or join the war on drugs. And her reason was every war they declare, they lose, and to let her know when they were going to have a war on peace, and she would join that one, because they would lose and there would be nothing but peace. So it's a reverse effect psychologically. Like, oh, the war on drugs. Yeah, we're gonna have a war on drugs, and then you lose. Oh, we're gonna have a war on poverty, and then you lose. It's
a war on an inanimate object.
It's a psychological game that's being played on us, of a reverse effect, and it's from the beginning of the game, and it's a psychological game, and it's basically the one where you stick a mirror in front of your face or the face of the person and have them say something, but have it a two-way mirror where they think they're saying it to you, but they're actually saying it to themselves. And that's a very, very popular way of getting people to narc themselves out in a conversation, which I'm pretty good at when I'm allowed to speak independently. I can trap people in their own words. I'm real good at it.
Yeah, but hey,
it's the psychology. It's the psychology of basically turning the person's own words against them, because most people aren't true to their principles, and you can expose that, and it throws them off, and then you can win the debate.
Hey, Gigi, I see your comment there. You're leery of buying any type of coins, gold, etc., worried about a crash in the future. Are you saying you're worried about the gold and precious metals price crash? Like, I know for sure right now gold and silver have had a really good run. Gold especially. So I can see that too. Like, I'm not buying aggressively either. I much prefer to buy during big smackdowns.
I'm always early with my predictions. I got out of what was that one brokerage account? It was in November. I got out of it. It was oh damn! I got out of them because they sent me a letter, and I didn't like what it stated.
Was it Charles Schwab?
Schwab. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. They sent me a letter, and I read the damn thing, and I was like, "Oh hell no! I'm closing my account right now." And I closed my account, and here it is on 11 months later, and they're showing problems. When I read it, it told me that they had those problems back then, but obviously charts hadn't come out on it yet. So I jumped ship early on that one. As I'm always, and I've said this on my videos, I always get out early because I see things coming, and I'd rather be early than late.
Yep.
And that's why I have patience on my investments, if they are actually investments. And that's what, I buy silver and platinum more for my own bank. Yeah, it was right after that, Gerald, after Schwab took them in a trade. They changed their policies and southward bound. Yeah, that's almost as good as the Canadian maple that I have.
Okay, you may want to close your eyes here.
No, I actually like her better than the guy.
Cover your children's eyes.
I like her better than the guy.
Yeah. King Charles. I've actually got a couple coins with him on the obverse recently. But I was just showing this because Gigi, like, this is out of the system. So if the stock market, that's a 1 ounce silver maple. If the stock market crashes and all, shit hits the fan and everything, that's still going to be there. Your stock accounts, your checking accounts, all that may be vulnerable.
See, now I'm going to match your maple.
Okay. Nice.
with the maple syrup, baby. This is Canadian gold, in my opinion. You guys got some kick booty syrup, and also food is also a good monetary thing to have, because if you have a whole bunch of this, you can get yourself some of what he had, because someone's going to, within a couple months, the sweet tooth of the human is going to come out, and they're going to say, damn, man, I want them flapjacks with syrup this time instead of just butter. And you're going to have it, and you say, well, let me get one of those other maples, and we'll do a fair exchange. I'll give you one of these, and you give me 2 of those. And that's why I say when you're looking at barter, and people start talking, they're coming at it from a wrong direction, in my opinion. When you're looking at barter, people always like, oh, I'm going to get constitutional because you're looking at going to give it away. What? Why are you looking to give it away? Why don't you get the stuff that people are going to want so they give it to you? So they give it to you, and you give them something that they're going to use up, and you're going to keep that silver that they gave to you. That's how I see barter. So that's why I always have debates with people when they start talking barter and what to get, this, that, and the other. Because I'm always thinking, why would I want to get rid of my stuff? What's the purpose of buying it just knowing you're going to give it away for a product later? And that's what barter is. So if you're going to give it away, flip the coin. Look at what's going to be needed in a realistic barter scenario. If it is going to get that bad, load up on that stuff. And then give that stuff away for silver. Learn yourself a little trade that you can do a little work for someone and get silver coming in. Because when the bad times are over, he who has the most silver is going to be the furthest ahead. So if you bartered yours away, you're bartering away your wealth. But if you barter other stuff and your skills and gather in those barter times that silver, you're going to be 10 times better off when those barter time ends. And people start saying, okay, it's time for the chairs to, music stop, sit down. You'll be sitting down on a pile of silver that people gave you because you bartered away stuff for silver instead of bartering silver for stuff. You see my approach?
Yep. Hey, Lisa, good to see you. And Gigi, I think Neil's in California.
Yeah, I'm in North Bay, Vallejo, like 3-4 miles south of Napa. Oh, is Lisa in here? Hey, what's up? Sorry, girl. I was running my mouth. I didn't see you come in the door. You must have slipped in. I just oiled the door. It doesn't squeak anymore, so people just come and go as they please.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I think for anyone that doesn't know Neil really well, he's also really good with bees, like apiaries, making honey. And I think honey is even better.
There you go.
Than maple syrup, because maple syrup's got a shelf life. It's really only good for about a year.
Hold on a second.
Lasts almost forever.
Hold on.
So they're starting to beard up on this peach tree, and the only thing that's not optimal about this situation in terms of recapturing the colony is the branch is a little thick. If the branch is a little thinner, the whole swarm can be dislodged in one mass into the box by shaking the branch, with a real sharp shake. And this branch is a little thick for that trick, but we'll give it a try and see how it works. It's going to take a minute for the swarm to coalesce, and we'll get back to that.
Dude or nothing. The reason why I did that, and this is why I say I have a different beekeeping system. I have named it the Sutherland beekeeping system, because I spent 6 years psychologically dismantling bees by their attitudes, by their actions, and what they did. And I came up with a system based off the information I gathered from the bees, and I made it a new box and a new system. I haven't made a complete version of it yet because there's more to the system. But as far as the box itself and the way of beekeeping, I've got that down pat. And basically, the bees are happy. So when bees are happy, they don't want to kill themselves to make a point. Because the only reason a bee stings, first off, in the act of stinging you, it's committing suicide. So the attitude has to be that one of fear to the point of wanting to defend the hive to the death. So whatever's going on, if you did nothing, then it's the way the hive itself is. And that's a built-in problem with the Langstroth system, the system that everyone uses today. It's got built into it several problems that'll cause bees to be angry and actually attack you. Where my system innately is built out those problems, and the bees are happier, and a happy bee isn't going to commit suicide on you. And
They're not going to bite they're not going to sting the hand that feeds them.
Pretty much.
Once they know that you're helping them and you're taking care of them, and you're
it's the box itself, because if you actually get to study in the system that they're using now, the Langstroth system, the box and the comb inside the frames, there's about a quarter inch to maybe a half inch separation from the bottom to the top, and there's a slit all the way along the whole bottom that can be penetrated. So as soon as a enemy lands, within a second, it can be lost in the hive and start devastating it. That's one problem. Another problem is when they die, they fill up that walking space right by the brood boxes. So now you've got dead bodies right by the nursery, and someone's got to pull them out. That's got to be kind of sort of mentally exhausting and make you not feel good, having to drag your body out right by your new kids and stuff. So I developed a system where there's a 4-inch separation from the bottom to the brood frames, to where, and I did circle entries, 3 of them, and I put a 2-inch board on the front, so that way the holes are, well, about 1 3/4 inches, so that way it takes less guard bees, and they actually have time to be alerted before the intruder can actually enter the hive. It takes fewer of them to stop them. It's easier for them to gather around it and kill it. And it's just, I just put a lot of thought into how it would benefit the bee to do things. And after I did it, I mean, I got stung. There was one time I almost died. I got stung like 67 times in a 5-minute time period, man. And let me tell you what, whoo, boy, howdy, dude. I thought I was going to die, and there's no room. You know, you can't call for a doctor or anything. You're too far away. 3 minutes is too far away. But I made it through, and I you know, that's part of my learning. and I learned, and I developed a system to where you just saw that video. You know, after getting almost killed by bees, I was able to come up with a system. I overcame it through logic, and I applied that logic to the bees, and I was successful. And any hive I get, I employ my system of beekeeping, and the hive is always healthier and therefore happier, and therefore they don't want to die, especially on me. But I do cover my ears, because even a mistaken sting in your ears will kill you. Brain hemorrhaging, swelling, and whatnot. And believe it or not, that's why, oddly enough, that's why elephants are scared of bees, because they have bigger eardrums. And that's how I developed my elephant fencing system. And I was going to deploy down in Zambia, because they wanted to keep the elephants on their side of the Zambezi River, to where they wouldn't go into Zimbabwe, where in Zimbabwe you can kill the elephants. And I learned that bees and elephants were not friends. And if the elephant heard a bee buzzing, they would go in the other direction. And I was like, oh, well, this is an elephant fencing system. And I developed the system, and I was supposed to deploy it down in Zambia, but the money got stolen. It never happened. It was supposed to happen 10 years ago, 2014. I still have to go down there and deploy it. I could be saving elephants' lives right now if it did, but someone got greedy and took the money.
Would a costume like this help at all?
A costume?
Yep.
What about it?
Would that help at all with the beekeeping?
No.
Okay.
How would you presume it would? By making yourself look like them.
You know, let's just ponder for a second the intelligence of your subscribers. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm reading the chat, and Jeffro says, "Hey, how about a bee costume like John Belushi wore in the old Saturday Night Live?" And so I had to.
Oh, okay. I see where. Okay.
That'd be funny though, man. If you did have a costume like that, that would be the type of. In fact, you could even clip that and put it out as a shorts video.
One day, I'm gonna do a good long video on my prototype beekeeping system I have in the garage, and I'll do a whole walkthrough explanation of why I employed certain things that I employed to help the bees do the nastiest of their jobs, and also help them stay pest free. And I'll go through a whole thing. But yeah, before I took off on my own, I did become a master beekeeper, and then I and I turned around and I told all of them, "You guys are fucking idiots and don't know shit about bees. I'll tell you, this is how it works."
See, but that's another reason I think you should move on it as soon as possible.
Oh, I'm such a dick. Good night, Gigi. Yeah, no, my system works. I guarantee it works. The bees are happier. The worst part of my system is actually bees pick up on signals, which most any animal actually does. Because as Gigi was saying, I believe it was Gigi, we have more senses than we use or are actually in tune with. And animals are actually more in tune with senses that we have that we're not in tune with. And they can tell when you're agitated, scared, and stuff like this. And that puts them in an agitated or scared mode and makes them more likely to go into sting mode. So the hardest thing about my beekeeping system was getting people not to be scared when they're around the bees, because then that actually affects me, because then my bees get agitated because they're getting the vibes of someone who's scared, and it's causing them to be scared now. And then that makes them want to be in more self-defense mode, and you're more likely going to get stung. So the worst part of my system is it takes away a lot of the problems that the Langstroth system causes, which makes them aggressive, to the point where they're so happy they can sense if people or animals or critters are around them aren't pleasant, and they will pick up on that vibe and act accordingly. So people who are agitated or scared, the bees will act accordingly and be agitated and scared, and that's a bad thing, because then you can probably get stung. But if you have confidence around my beekeeping system, I walk in front of the holes. They tell you you can't walk in front of the beehive because you're going to get stung. That's a bunch of crap. If the bees are happy, you can go anywhere you want. They don't care. I've had bees run into me. I had 4 hives on one side, and I'd walk like 2 foot in front of all of them, have bees bouncing off of me and not bite me. I just got in their way. They went around me after they, landed on me, and they just went around me. It was no big deal because they had their job to do and they were happy.
Now, one thing I could see that could cause an issue too is, say everything's going well, you're walking around, and a few of them go onto the ground, and you accidentally step on 1 or 2 and injure them. That could,
yeah, because they do send out signals. Their signaling is through pheromones, and it goes by the wind. So you can actually get away with it if you're real quick on your actions and you're in the right spot, and cover the bee up quick, and don't let as few pheromones as possible out from the body. But you really have to be in the right state of mind and act quickly. But yeah, they do have pheromones. And to that exact point, I've got cat watering dishes out front. And in the spring, every now and then I'll catch a bee that had been in there, it's drowned. So I'll pick it up, I'll dry it off, and I'll blow on it until it comes back to life. And if they're not too far along drowned, you can actually bring them back to life. And they remember. I've brought so many bees back to life around this area, and I have no problems with bees. I've got the row of rosemary in front of my yard and the neighbor's yard. Bees all the time. I've never had a problem with bees because I've befriended them. I know it sounds like I'm a lunatic, but
good to see you, Auntie. Have a good weekend, Gigi.
Hey, thank you for stopping by. As always, Independent. I always enjoy getting whiplashed by you and Gigi and Snooks on your channel. That's why I go there. It's fun. Have a good weekend. But yeah, there's a lot of things about bees that you can increase their production just through knowledge of the system. For example, hey, bees spend about, I don't know, probably 60% of their lives, the pollinating bees. Not all bees go out and pollinate. They all have different jobs to do throughout their lifetime. But in the lifetime that they go out and pollinate, they spend about 60 to 70% of their time above the individual comb that they put the honey in. Because when they regurgitate, and oh yes, honey is bee throw up. When they regurgitate it into the comb, it's about 90% humidity, and they have to stand above it and flap their wings to dry it out to about 3 to 5% humidity before they cap it. And that actually takes a lot of energy. And that's why sometimes when you see the bees, some of them will land and they have ripped or torn wings. That's the older pollinators, and they're not really that old. It's just the amount of work they've had to do. They're overworked. And that's another thing I noticed, and I actually did something about in my mobile system on my finished. I've got a prototype. It's not solid. It's not airtight. It's not a good system. It's just a prototype, a proof of concept, basically. So when I get a finished model, it's going to be a total, completely enclosed trailer, and I'm going to have 2 dehumidifiers on the inside that are set at like 20%. So that way, the inside of the boxes at the top where you have the ventilation, I'll actually be pulling out the humidity, helping the bees do their job to where they're not spending as much of their time flapping their wings, destroying their wings, trying to dry the honey out. And that'll give them more time to go out and get more pollen and make more honey. And that's how I can increase production using my system over other people's systems. Just
so I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's up, brother?
So my understanding is that the reason that bees make honey is to store up
over winter
food for when it gets cold and there's nothing around.
Yeah.
So if you're harvesting their honey, how do they make it through the winter?
Well, you're not supposed to harvest the last part of autumn. You're supposed to leave them with a full honey super to go through the winter. But my beekeeping system is a mobile system. And the reason why they say do that over winter is because most people aren't going to pick their bees up and move them, because it's a lot of trouble picking up bees and moving them.
Gotcha.
You lose a lot of them. But if they're already in a trailer that's already set for them, then what you have is most of the bees die over winter. If you look at, and I've seen thermal videos, I had some friends in Germany did this. You take a thermal video of a beehive over winter, over several days, and you'll see it's like a big basketball inside this box of heat. Because what the bees will do is they'll surround the queen, keep her at 101 degrees, no matter what the outside temperature is. And the outside bees will be the first ones to die. And that big red ball of heat over a month or two gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's why beehives start off so small in the springtime. That problem I solved in my trailer design, because there's a cold and a warm way that you can set hives side by side to where they can either share heat or not share heat. And the way I have mine set, they share heat, and they'll also be inside a trailer. So they'll never have the problem of overwinter dying, because they're never going to get that cold, because the environment that I present to them in my mobile trailer design won't allow them to get cold, because you're going to have 10 independent furnaces at 101 degrees inside an enclosed location, with only their exit from the hive box being the exit to the outside. So they're going to stay warm throughout winter. So you're not going to start spring with a smaller amount of bees. You're going to have a full amount of bees for fresh pollination. But again, if it's a mobile scenario, you can drive 500, 600, 700, 800 miles. If you're up in Michigan, you can drive down towards northern Georgia and in the Alabama area and start a pollination contract and leave them down there where they're not going to die, and you're going to make money through the pollination contract and honey, which also increase the size of your bees, which means you can pull boxes off and sell them as well, making a good living off of it. My numbers show between 80 to 120,000 if you run it properly. Each trailer will bring you in that much money.
So now, does that mean really the warmer the temperatures are, and like the further south you are, the less honey they're likely to produce?
No, in the more tropical environments where there's more flower, they're going to do
in
better.
Mexico or like really far south.
It all depends on the winter. Yeah. Bees will, if they're not dying in their hive trying to keep the queen warm, they'll still go outside. They're just limit the amount of time they're outside. So the trick is to get them closer to the pollen, to where they don't have to fly so far and die in the cold. And that's the mobile part. If you pull them in the middle of a 10-acre pollinated field, they don't have to fly 1.5 miles away from the hive. They have to fly 100 yards and back. They're not going to get cold enough to die, and they can still do their job. And because they're inside a heated, self-heated, enclosed trailer, once they get home, they actually warm up and not freeze. So it's an exact opposite conditions of what's presented to them with the Langstroth system of beekeeping now. It's the exact opposite. So instead of overwinter dying, they're going to have overwinter growth. Hey, quit that. Yeah, no, I put years in the study of this and thought. And the problem, actually, the biggest problem I'm going to have with this is no one's done it. No one's, and then again, also that we're as in America, we're leaving the monoculture crop scenario everyone's going to smaller crop, 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 acre crops. You need smaller hive people to do that. Right now, a majority, 5 people own like 10 million hives in America. 5. You think they're going to hit your 20-acre farm? Shit,
It's a
I doubt it.
brilliant idea.
It's reintroducing beekeeping and pollination contracts to the small farmers that we haven't had in America for the past 50 years, and they've actually been downsizing. That trend has changed, and we're actually getting more small farms, but the beekeeping part of it for the pollination contracts hasn't kept up with small farms. So there is that niche that's got to be filled as well.
Well, and I think there should be some programs available to get funding for land, for agricultural, for that. Like it should be one
Well,
way.
you shouldn't need it, because with as many small farms as they're out there and homesteads that are out there, there's tens of thousands of them. You should be able to get a contract. A contract for pollinations for 2 weeks. You can only get 26 contracts in a 12-month period.
Okay.
So you're only hitting 26 farms. You know,
Okay, I didn't know that.
There's tens of thousands out there. I mean, this could be a growth business. You know, it's just no one's out there contacting these small farms and getting a lists of small farms together and homesteads together to make it easier to contact the people for pollination contracts. That hasn't been created yet, and it needs to be created. That's why I say the beekeeping industry with my invention, because you got to create a whole line of farmers that want year after year pollination contracts that you can have a list of, so that way you can contact, or they can contact you. And even if you're 700 or 800 miles away, you can drive your stuff down there and go down only every 2 weeks. And another thing is, it's all a tax deduction. And so if you're going down south where it's warm over the wintertime, I don't see where anyone would have a problem with that.
It's a perfect reason for me to go down into the States in the winter, isn't it?
And that's what I'm talking about. And it's a business expense. They can't stop you through customs because you got a business you're running down there. No, there's lots of benefits to this on so many different levels for individuals, depending on the scenarios that they're in. Yeah. But there is a pathway to move this thing easy. You're not picking up a hive and putting it on a trailer. You're not picking up 10 of them and putting on a trailer and wrapping them with a net. All you got to do is stick a wine cork in the opening the night before, and that locks them all in. Guaranteed you're not losing one freaking bee. And the systems they use now, they can't guarantee that. They'll guarantee you'll lose less than 20% of your bees in transport. That's outrageous.
Yeah, you got to have a nice cushy suspension on.
It's got to be a double axle.
Yeah,
You have to have a real smooth ride because you will be.
the Cadillac
Yes.
transport. So actually, air shocks would be great. So you can just set them.
Oh, sweet.
Like how the new Cadillacs have that.
Yeah, no, an expensive part of doing the trailer is the suspension system because it will have to ride exactly like a Cadillac. Because when those bees are in that box, if you hit a bump and they all get jarred down, they're going to be pissed.
And I think solar panels on the top are a pretty good idea for backup and off-grid power.
Well, with the trailer design, and here's something: bees don't like electrical signals, and I've already thought of this, but I'd like to have, or I'm going to have, solar panels on top, but I'm going to have a Mylar coating on the top of the trailer and part of the sides, and maybe have a little bit of an upward slant, so that way any signal won't bounce down. And I'm going to have the solar panels, inverter, and battery probably on the top that are going to run all the systems, and just run the wires down through into like the center of the trailer for the dehumidifiers and lighting system. And that's pretty much all I'll need.
In fact, if you could have it wired, so the inverter and even the panels could possibly come off of the roof. So you've got something on the ground, 50 feet away.
No,
All the electrical away.
Theft. That, and you have more shadows down low. The trailer will probably be about 9 foot at the top, and if your panels are up higher, you'll have less shading and a better chance of getting sun.
It's true. That's true.
And permanently mounted down, less chance of theft. And you got to look at the realism of America. There's a lot of people that'll steal stuff for, oh, how much silver's in there? Yeah, they'll steal it, especially if silver goes up. So it'll have to be locked down on top, probably even built into the roof. Where like on a solar powered yacht, how they're not strapped on top little things, but they're actually built into the roof, so that way you can't steal it.
Yep.
But yeah, that's I got to get money up to do it though. It costs probably about the first couple will probably cost like 40,000 because I'll mess up on a few designs and I'll have to change some stuff, because it's never been done. I'm gonna have to perfect it, so I plan on messing up. Yeah.
Well, and if you want lots of other people to do, you've got to put like an operations manual together too, right?
I'm going to have to do it all, bro. No one else done this, and it's my system I came up with. I'm going to have to put it all down on paper. Yeah. It's going to be a little bit of a time-consuming thing, but once I have the money to get a couple built, I'll do that, and then I'll find some people that, I'll just let them run it for a year and tell them all I want is to keep accurate numbers. I want mileage. I want, how many pollination contracts you contracted, how far away they were, what did you try, what route did you try? So that way I can see what way the average person is going to run it. And then I can start during that same year, maybe hire someone to start getting lists from states, individual states of smaller farms, and start building up lists of different states that people can contact for pollination contracts, and, at least get something started in that. And 3-4 years down the line, it'll be probably something, a business you can buy, like $40,000, and you have yourself a business, and it'll make you between 80 and 120,000 a year. So that way, mom and dad can run the business and stay at home and not work for themselves and have a better life, living out in the country, homeschool, have good money, not worry about getting fired.
Well, that's cool, Jeffro. $1988 fully solar powered car across Australia.
Yeah, I just read that. Yeah, solar panels have come a long way, and they're going to come further here shortly. There's going to be a nice little technological revolution coming. Product revolution, whatever you want to call it. And that'll kickstart manufacturing in America. But anyhow, yeah, there's a lot to the bee thing. I also have a catamaran design that's going to blow the it's going to be a #1 seller once I create it. Yeah, Jeffro. Battery storage is definitely a big part of the solar issue. I actually did a video on that one. Yeah, and back to Lisa's point about Tiger, I haven't heard too much because I'm not in the loop with him. So I'm glad to hear that he's getting home, but I'm actually real concerned. I'm thinking he might be a little bit overweight because I know of only a few ways that you can get a blood septism. Anyhow, whatever he had, there's only a couple different ways, and there's a few things that can help that happen. So I think he might want to consider taking better care of his personal health, and maybe hit a walking routine or something. And I don't know. I've never met him. Don't know if he's overweight or not. But I believe from what I've gathered, he might be a little bit heavier than he should be, which is never good for your health. Or is it good for any kind of blood infections? Because a lot of fat cells, you can store a lot of stuff. Your blood goes there. It also stores a lot of stuff. And that's not good. A lot of reasons to be thin and or healthy. A lot healthier for you being thin.
It's true. It's true. Are you still going for a bit, or what are you saying? I got to take a break for a couple minutes.
Take your break, brother man. This is Saturday Night Live with JM and the Prince of Platinum. Neither of us are comedians, and we're not getting paid for any advertisements. Yeah, take your time, brother. I might throw up another video here to see what we got. I only have those two. I can do a 30-second. I like that last part. All right, let me get back on comments here. All right, yep, no one's talked. So I didn't miss anything. That's cool. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Get me some views on this so I can get monetized. So that way I can get super chats. So that way you guys can send me free monies. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Free money. Money, 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 money. Everybody loves free money, money. Except for when it comes from the government, because then you know you're going to have inflation. Keep the free government money away. Poopy squat money. So what else we got going on, people? Let's see here. I can check this here. Let's see what's going on. Oh no! Everything is down. Down, down, down. There we go. We have bid ask for gold is 26.57, 26.58. The bid ask for silver is 31.62, 31.72. Platinum 1,000 to 110, and palladium is 998 to 138. And as usual, no price action in iridium. I give an explanation what I believe that's for in one of my videos. Hey, you guys, be good. Sorry, cat's getting a little crazy. Yeah, that's interesting. Platinum might rake a run up to 13 or 1400 this time. Who knows? We shall see. That was my evil laugh. How did I do? Thank you very much for that, Anti. Always promoting people's channels. Promote everyone's channel. Everyone should get to know everyone else's channel, so we can get everyone more subscribers, so where everybody can be monetized and actually be able to probably make a little bit of Jack. And I'm not talking Daniels. I don't drink Jack Daniels. Last time I drank Jack Daniels was a mistake. And oh God, I never touched the soap ever since then because it was a bad mistake, brother. Yeah. One of those nights you will never hear me talk about other than saying it's one of those nights I will never talk about. But it did convince me that Jack and Jim are not my friend. And that's Jack Daniels and Jim Beam. Those boys are not my friend. They're very, very bad to me. They cause me to do stupid stuff. And I totally blame them. Because that's what you do when you drink alcohol. You never blame yourself. You blame the alcohol. Because it's the inanimate object that controls your life. Get out of my way, kitty kitty. I'm here to unplug and plug. There we go. There we go. Sorry, I had to plug in another fan to get some wind action going. No breeze, as we call it here in the North Bay. And I tell you what, if you guys aren't positioned to pick yourself up another home by January, oh my God, you'll have missed a great opportunity. I'm seeing one of the live streams I did a day or two ago was about this one house that dropped 20% in 1 month. Been on the market for like 117 days. I do get a few alerts, a few houses are sold, but I'm getting like a 8-to-1 of new houses, 8 new houses to 1 house sold. And that's a no bueno. Hey, Lisa, if you're still here, do you want to post Tiger's channel? That way people will know, hit him up. Because I'm sure he's probably going to have live stream within the next week or so if he's getting better. Yeah, post it if you would, girl. Everyone here is a moderator. You're more than welcome. I know the story that's going on there, Tiger, and I'm more than happy to post his channel here. Well, that's the thing, Jeffro. If this is a game of who loses the least, then the middle class doesn't have as much to lose, so therefore could be positioned to gain if they make the proper moves and are well enough informed in advance. And that is the key, well enough informed in advance to be prepared, because it is going to be a great time for the poor and middle class to step up and actually make some money. You just got to have the right perspective and pathway. And here is Tiger Stacker. He just ended up in the hospital about a week ago. He himself is a doctor. I thought he was overworked anyhow. So this is actually hopefully he'll take a good month or so, 6 weeks vacation after getting over this. But he ended up with a little health problem. Nothing permanent, and it seems like from what Lisa said, it's under control enough to where he'll be getting released soon. And that is a good thing, because he actually has to travel across country. So for him to be released, that means if he lived locally, he would probably have been released a couple of days ago. But because he's across country in the hospital from where he lives, they probably kept him an extra couple days just to make sure he's okay, which means if they released him to fly across country to go home, he's mended. He's more than on the mend. Bingo, Jethro. You got that right. And tell me if that wasn't planned as a big fuck you for the middle class. Hey, let's entertain them and watch them sink by not paying attention to what's going on around them.
Bread and circus.
Baffle them with bullshit. And that's why every individual here has a responsibility to try to at least have their eyebrows raised, if not get them totally interested in their future.
Dazzle them with brilliance.
Buy some crystallized osmium. That'll dazzle them.
Yes, brilliance is always welcome.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying I hope he takes at least six weeks off, because I know he's a workaholic. Yeah.
Are you talking about Tiger Stacker?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know there was any medical issues, so I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, sepsis, blood sepsis.
Dang.
Yeah. And yeah, he does have a long way to go, which means he'll be taking a good vacation, well earned, and he can write it off as a loss if he's self-employed.
Is that the same thing you can get from
Staph infection?
burst appendix?
For what?
Burst appendix?
No, that's a lot more serious.
Okay.
If you have a burst appendix, you have less than 24 hours to live if you don't are not in a hospital getting surgery to have all that poisonous putrescent crap pulled out of your body.
My
It
dad
will
had that
affect
done.
the inside of you and spoil your internals fast. Yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible. Horrible way to go. That's why no one really follows me on Facebook, but I used to post a lot of like the Food Babe. I followed her, still do, and a lot of health food stuff that you can do. Just small stuff. Like I don't do a lot of health stuff. I post more health stuff than I do. But like, for example, what I will do is there's a lemon tree right next door that I'm more than welcome to get, and I do when they're ready. And for 9 months out of the year when they're ripe on the tree. Be quiet.
I am being quiet.
No, that was my cat. Yeah, you heard him, I'm sure. I'll go over there, grab a lemon, and when I make my tea, I'll cut the top part of the lemon off, and I'll give it a little squeeze before I cut the top off, and I'll take my tea, and I'll, let 10 or 12 drops of lemon straight into my tea. So I'm adding tea and cinnamon to lemon and cinnamon to my tea, both of which have great health effects for you. So I do a lot of things inertly by my eating that, like, mushroom powder stuff from Paul Stamens and stuff like that. I don't eat mushrooms, but I'll do the pill stuff that he created. So I do limited amount of health stuff, but it's targeted.
What about ginseng? Have you ever looked into
Yeah,
that?
I've done ginseng in the pill form.
I have a friend that swears by it, but he gets the actual ginger root. And,
Yeah, that's like garlic.
But you don't actually consume the ginger. What he does, he takes a small piece of the actual root it's about the same size of a medium-sized pill, and puts it in like a half gallon or quarter gallon canteen. Just lets it sit in there, and he drinks that with just water.
Yeah,
and he'll drink that throughout the day, and he swears by it for energy.
Oh yeah, there's so many good things like that out there, man.
But none of this is advice, right? This is all just
no.
entertainment.
This is what people do.
Yeah,
It's like sharing recipes.
exactly. No sugar added.
One thing is disgusting, but every now and then I do is cod liver oil.
The one thing you do is what?
Cod liver oil.
Cod liver oil. Yeah, I heard good things about that.
Glad I finally found it in pill form, because God, that stuff tastes nasty. Another thing I do is every now and then shake up my bottle of vinegar to get the mother's milk or the vinegar mixed in there, and I'll take a and I'll inhale first, and then I'll just take a swig of vinegar.
Like apple cider vinegar? Or
Yeah.
just- okay.
Yeah, it's got the mother's milk in it, the particulates that are in the bottom after you shake it up. It's because that's the good stuff. Yeah, I do lots of crazy stuff. Then I do Epsom salt, baking soda baths, pull heavy metals out of my system.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, my mom was real concerned about that when she was alive because of Alzheimer's and the cause of it being extra aluminum in the body. At least that's what they were determining it was back then. So I discovered how to have it naturally, have your body help get it pushed out of your system. Because if you open up your pores, which means basically a hot bath, your body will, through sweating, naturally clean out your system, that stuff that's there to be pushed out through that manner. So if you add baking soda and Epsom salt to the body of water that you're in, it actually helps pull out certain things from your open pores. And then your body starts sending that substance to the open pores to be discarded. It's a good way to clean your outer body. It ain't gonna hit your bones or anything like that, but
No, it's like detox.
yeah. It's like doing that thing with the Japanese thing where you put the patch on your foot.
Yep.
It's like that. But it's better because you're in a hot bath enjoying yourself. Chilling. Make sure you have like a fucking a rubber ducky around your neck in case you fucking fall asleep.
What, drowning risk?
Uh-huh.
Set an alarm.
Yes, it is, Jeffro. Very much so. In the northeast. You quit with your meowing. I'm tired of it. Start barking. I'll take pictures. Make some money on YouTube. Cat that barks.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of ginseng.
Yeah, in Alabama. You can harvest that stuff.
There's money in it.
Yeah, it's good money in it if you get it by the pound, if you get pounds of it. And if you already have a distribution point to take it to, it's quick money.
Hey, we got Silver Boy Blues in the house. Hey, how's it going?
Silver Boy Blues. What's up, my brother?
Happy weekend.
He had a suit fitting today. He's going to a wedding.
My condolences. I mean,
That's what I
awesome.
tell people. I like that house picture you got. That'd be a beautiful house to have.
Oh, yeah.
About
The only
58.
thing I don't like about it is I can almost feel the mosquitoes biting me.
Well, no, that's where you get purple martins and draw a lot of have a lot of plants that draw dragonflies. They'll
Yeah.
eat the crap out of those things, man.
And bats. I'd rather have
Bats
lots of
as well.
than
Draw them all in. Nature takes care of nature. If you have too much, if you have an infestation of mosquitoes in a place like that, your nature's out of balance. Put it
Cool.
back in balance, and you won't have problems with mosquitoes. They're put out there for some critter to harvest. You just bring that critter, those critters along to harvest them, and then all of a sudden they'll become an extinct species in your area.
Yeah, it's weird. This year's been really bad for mosquitoes here, like worse than I can ever remember. In that usually we get them in the spring, and then as it heats up throughout the summer, they kind of dissipate, and then there's usually nothing in the fall. But this year, like through the autumn, it seems like they're being dumped. Like I heard there was genetically modified mosquitoes that were being dropped. Shall we say airdropped?
There's a lot of things like
Because
that.
a lot of them are
being said.
babies. They're tiny, 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 tiny mosquitoes.
I have a problem with that one. It just doesn't make sense.
What part?
A mechanical mosquito being dropped.
Genetically modified. Like
Oh,
lab-
that one I
lab-
do know they're doing. Yeah, that one they are doing. They've been doing that for a while. That's why I've seen more dragonflies this year and birds that eat mosquitoes in this area. I have this year actually was the least amount of mosquitoes we've had. And I have setting water. I mean, I refill them every day, but I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dishes of water that are out there 24/7. I always refill them. It's not standing water, but this year was the least amount of mosquitoes because I've got the environment to where I got the bugs that eat those suckers. Gotta have the bugs that eat the mosquito and mosquito larvae.
Oh, it didn't work. I meant to have this UFO go flying by that house.
You're right on.
But it didn't work. Dang.
I put up a supernova.
Nice.
And then I put up a good movie, a funny one.
Is that Spies Like Us?
Yes.
I haven't seen that in so long, but I remember it being hilarious.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time, but yeah, I have the same fond memories of just laughing my ass off at the stupid humor of those two together.
You know, the other one back in those days was Up the Creek and Revenge of the Nerds. Similar type of humor.
What area are you in there, Lisa? I would suggest any of the big boys that you get on YouTube. If you bought from them, you should have a decent enough relationship where they'll buy back at as close to spot as possible. SD Boyan, JM Boyan. I don't know where you bought from. But for anyone who has any suggestions for her, please.
My suggestion is peer-to-peer. Anyone in your close friends, family network that you know is aware of it and has an interest in it. I've done that before, buying from a guy. And he didn't want to sell to the coin shop because the coin shop was offering him spot. And when I looked at the price at the coin shop, this was years ago, 5-6 years ago, they wanted like say $4 over spot for exactly what he had. So we just met in the middle and I bought from him at 2 over spot. If there's an opportunity for that without, putting anything at risk, I would consider that actually as the best option, because that way you've helped someone else in your network to get it inexpensive, right? They're getting a better, so it kind of goes around the coin shop. And no offense to anyone that has a coin shop or an online dealer, but
Silverboy Blues has a little info for you there, Lisa. My Silver Journey, I actually watch him. And the other guy, I believe his name is Neal. Neal. They live in North Carolina. Hook up with them. They have a great network. I actually believe they go to coin shows and sell. So you could probably hook up with them and they could, I don't know. The possibilities are endless. I don't want to say what they would or would not do, but the possibilities are endless for sales because they're into that stuff in your area. And Silverboy, what's his name? My Silver Journey has a YouTube show. Actually, I was just on talking to him earlier this evening.
My other suggestion, Lisa, is just don't accept under spot. Right? If you have people coming tomorrow and they're like, "Oh, we're paying $1 under spot," I would say, unless you're absolutely desperate and you've got no other option. And possibly by if they do offer you less than spot and you reject that, you say, sorry, I've got to get at least spot, and you're desperate, they may come up a bit, right? Come closer.
Yeah, always walk away if you don't like the price.
Yeah, and if it's nice stuff that you have, definitely be savvy. You want to be just as savvy in selling as you are in buying. But I realized sometimes, yeah, that storm, took a lot of people by surprise. So it could
You
be.
might even actually look at. It's only if like my silver journey won't can't do anything for you. Maybe take some pictures and put them in like on eBay. I'm not a big proponent of eBay, but a lot of people sell stuff there.
There was someone in Sal's live chat that was saying there's a good Facebook group. I'm not on Facebook, but that there's like a peer-to-peer selling. Definitely be careful, but there's a few groups in there that apparently are really, really good.
Well, Lisa, that's what I want this community to do in my channel is if someone has a question and I don't have the answer and they do, I want the community to step up and start giving suggestive answers. Not any advice, but suggestive answers.
Yeah. Like, what would you do if you were in my situation?
Exactly. I mean, share information, help, be kind, helpful, and grateful.
I love the hat on Chevy Chase there. That's just hilarious.
Looks warm. Looks very warm, actually.
So that would be perfect for whatever the wind direction the wind is blowing. You turn your back to it.
Mm-hmm.
That'll totally shelter your head.
It'd be nice to pull it down a little bit further too.
Mm-hmm. That's for anyone that's not used to cold, survival in the cold. It's not a trick, but one of the best things you'll see people that live in the north do all the time is the hoodies, because it keeps the back of your neck warm too.
Well, I do know how to keep you from getting hypothermia if you ever can prepare for it.
Yeah.
There's a study been done on it. You keep your hands, feet, and head warm, and you won't get hypothermia.
Yeah, your extremities, because your fingers and toes will be the first to get hyperthermia.
Yep, and your head releases most of heat. So if you have like a semi-dry booties and gloves, like wetsuit style semi-dry booties and gloves, and a wetsuit head thingy on,
Yep.
and you go in the water, you won't die. You'll freeze like a motherfucker, but you won't die.
Yep. And anything to shelter from the wind is a good idea, because the wind chill is same as like the humidity index. They say, oh, it's 90 out, but with humidity it feels like 105.
Dude, in northern Florida, the winter times are as cold as in Canada because it's a humid wind chill.
That's right.
There's water in that wind chill, and when it's 32 degrees and 20-mile-an-hour wind with a 45% humidity, it's a different type of cold.
Yep.
It's a big time different type of cold. Same with the heat. That humidity, man. Take a shower, put on some nice clothes, open the door, boom, you're wet. I try and isolate myself from others locally. I just deal with my block, and I try and make myself noticed on my block, and I try and just stay in this little defined area to limit possibilities of me having to deal with bad things. So I don't have to deal with that stuff. And of course, that means I keep it clean. The alleyway and the street and the sidewalks. Keep it clean of leaves, weeds, trash. Just keep the area looking civil and well lit up at night, and that takes care of a majority of the youths in hoodies. I actually need to get 2 more security lights in back.
Yeah, make sure you keep your picture up there too, like that. There we go. This anyone that's feeling it's just a little too warm, you need your air conditioner going.
There you go. Get the cool breeze going. What's up, Mark?
Natural air conditioning. Hey, Mark.
I was showing a couple of videos to start this off with because I don't have phone service, so I can't upload videos, and it kind of pissed me off. And I was like, that's why I'm doing more live streams too. I do my typical video on a live stream, and then it continues on from there. So I guess it's not like a video, but whatever. I'm still getting some information out, and that's cool. I actually did a recording on StreamYard, but I can't figure out how to post it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. So go back into StreamYard whenever, not now, but after.
Yeah.
And on the left menu, you'll see library.
Yeah.
And then it'll show that video. You can edit it. It'll give you.
Yeah, but it doesn't give me an option to share it. Just copy link or download link or something like that. Share link.
Yeah. So download. But what you can do is download it. Download it, and then you'll have that file will be downloaded, and then just upload that file to YouTube.
All right. Yeah, I got to figure all that crap out. I've never done it before.
And so what? Yeah, just go to click on library first.
Oh no, I know where it says download. I just didn't hit that because I don't know how to do that, but I can figure it out.
Download, and then it'll give you the option of audio or video. Do video because that'll include both.
Yeah.
And then that file will show up in. I think I showed you how to do that before. It'll show up on your computer in downloads.
Right on.
And then you can just upload that.
I figure it out. A lot of stuff's been going on in Burkina Faso and actually today Mali. Or no, Niger. My bad, Niger. Actually, some real good stuff for Niger. Some bad stuff for the West. Oh, goodness gracious me. Holy cow. New humans going to be introduced to the planet.
Dang.
Boy, man, you figure after you do one round of the kid that someone else would take care of that round. You're like, where was my dad when I...
Well,
that's what dads are for daughters, bro. You're doing a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, seizures, my bad. I was thinking labor. Holy cow, my bad. I am so sorry.
See,
I
that's the problem with
apologize.
typing.
I totally it didn't sink in until I read it twice. I was like, seizures, not labor. Oh my God. And then I was like, holy cow, I am so sorry, brother. I didn't mean to be insulting or make fun of it at all. Have you looked into I think the stuff's called Charlotte's Web. It's legal in North Carolina. The legislature passed it. So anywhere on any website for seizure medication in North Carolina, and CBDC, it should give you information on Charlotte's Web. It's the highest concentration of CBDC plant that's available here in America. There is another CBDC plant located, and Israel will not let it out, but Israel has one that has a higher CBDC rating, so you could check with them. But CBDC is the best thing for seizures and kids, brother.
You mean CBD, right?
CBD. I'm so sorry. The CBDC. Yeah, CBD. Cannabinoid. It's not a
hallucinogenic.
Thank you.
It's purely medicinal. It's just
100%. It's 100% good stuff, brother. It's for seizures. It's been proven to the point that the state legislature of North Carolina, it took less than 24 hours to change their laws to make it legal to use for kids that have seizures. That's how effective it is.
I see they actually even make CBD honey.
Yeah. What's up, Jess?
Manuka.
Yeah, Manuka honey.
That's cool.
But I definitely suggest the CBD route, my friend Mark. and hopefully you're in a state that's and if you have to fight for the right to use it, you've got a precedence in North Carolina, their state legislator and or state representatives in their council. You just check them out. There's oh, it's horrible, but it happened in the state chambers, and all of the politicians saw this little girl during a seizure and had the quickest decision to make, and they changed the law that session. That's how effective the Charlotte's Web CBD cannabinoid is for children with seizures.
Yeah, there's tons of potential benefits. There was a coffee shop that was actually selling CBD oil and different variances of it. And I remember looking at the card and it said the benefits, and there was like 35 or 40 different
Oh yeah.
possible.
If you have us older folks, and I've only found it once because not too many people make it, and I haven't really looked. It's a cold water extraction CBD oil. It will, to me anyhow, and I do flexibility stuff. I try to stay flexible. When I took, I think it was 2, possibly 3 drops of that stuff on the tongue, within 15 minutes. Oh, dude, the flexibility level I had and the amount of easing of the tensions and pains in my lower back just like melted away. It was like it was almost miraculous a feeling. But the lady who made it moved, and I haven't been able to find any since, so I just do pain management.
My sister's veterinarian actually suggested I don't remember which one, but it was a CBD product for my sister's one dog, recommended by veterinarian to help it to relax. It's having coughing issues.
You don't have to drive there. Whatever state you're in, just make sure that they're not going to give you crap over it, and they shouldn't. But if they do, you can take the documentation that the state of North Carolina has, their state representatives, while they're in chambers over the CDBC, Charlotte's Web specifically, and just take the video footage they have of that and turn it over to your local dudes and say, dude, and they'll pass it, make it legal. You might have to fight for it because it's not legal nationwide, but there's precedents for you to follow. And I would definitely look into it. Because it will stop those seizures. Not stop. The lady who passed it in North Carolina had legalized North Carolina. Her daughter was experiencing like 100 seizures an hour. She had a special type of epilepsy, I think it was. Don't quote me on that. It's been years. I was big into this is like 2010, 11, 12, 13, somewhere around there. Because I was big into the marijuana scene back then, trying to legalize out here in California. We were doing a lot of stuff to try and gain momentum, and part of it was that CBD and the seizure thing.
I just posted a link for their website.
There you go. Bingo. Yeah, look into that, Mark. Thank you very much, JM.
Yeah. No worries.
Dude, I'm telling you, Mark, the miracles of that post James just posted. Check into it. Do your own due diligence. Don't believe any of us, but do your own due diligence on that, brother.
Yeah, and you never know. Like, there may be other things there, but definitely don't overlook that.
All I can tell you is I know for a fact what I saw when I was researching and helping move the Prop 215 around 2012, 2013. And all the information we gathered, that shit should be legal nationwide. It should be on shelves for people to have.
Yeah.
There's no bad anything for it. The only reason they're not giving it out is for greed of the companies giving you false medications.
It's amazing around here how many health food stores there are and how many like health products, naturopaths, natural remedies, like they're popping up like wildfire.
And you got to watch it because a lot of them are bull crap.
Yeah, they're products made in China.
No, not only that, it's just certain things are good if you follow a certain lifestyle. But if you don't follow that lifestyle and you try one thing of that lifestyle and think you're going to get the benefits of it, you're fooling yourself.
Gotcha.
That mentality.
Yeah.
And then there's also the fake stuff. What was it? There's a creatine. Last big push was for this product, a health product called creatine. They were pushing the crap out of it. Now look at creatine. See if they're pushing the crap out of it. No, they are not. Why? Well, enough people use it long enough, you figure it out. So be careful on the health products side and check out and make sure that it's good for you, because everyone individually has a different chemical system and makeup and metabolism, where you actually metabolize things differently than other people, and it works differently in your system. So find out what works for you personally, and you'll be better off in this. And don't just believe the commercials and, oh, they say this. Nah. Yeah. For the certain type individual, it works that way. For everyone else, it doesn't. That kind of bull crap happens a lot too. No, wait, what was the deal with creatine? I'm not sure. All I know is they were pushing it, and it was supposed to do some, I don't recall right off the top of my head, Silverboy Blues, but I believe it was like kidney or liver issues or something like that, if doing too much of it or something. I'm not 100% sure, but there was an issue with it, and they were pushing it as a health food thing until the issues started coming up. It's always good as a person in a position that you've been put in to have that information, Mark. And I'm surprised they didn't tell you about the CBD. You might want to also talk to them about it. They'll probably tell you it's a bunch of bull crap and not to do it. And if they do, change doctors, because they don't have your daughter's best interest at heart. They're actually just following status quo. So that's a good way to see if your neurologist is actually, because just because they have the status, they want their paychecks too, and they will follow protocols that are against their mandates to keep their jobs. Just look at the jab, and then look at the oath they take of will do no harm, and see how many of them are still doctors after doing harm. So you got to watch out for these guys and fact check them and check out who they are and where they stand on things, because a lot of guys just go into this field just so they can get the big cars and nice houses.
That's right. Think of some of these doctors that are doing, all the reconstructive surgery, the cosmetic surgeries and all this stuff. It's pure money. That's not physically helping anybody.
It's actually psychologically hurting them.
Yep. And I see it percolating in the dental industry and the veterinary industry too. Like they're all run as businesses.
Yep. It's very detrimental, but whatever.
There's good people in every industry, but you got to watch out in every industry too.
That's all I'm saying, brother. Check it out.
Yeah, I always have a tough time accepting someone's first.
Silverboy Blues. There's so many reasons for that. Yeah, and that's another problem. When you get into doing too many health things, again, you got to look at what your body can take. A lot of these guys will explode their hearts because they're doing too much and their body can't take what they're giving them. Because also what you got to consider, you say your friend was a bodybuilder. Let's see, birthday. He was bodybuilder. Okay. So your friend's a bodybuilder. I actually knew in the 80s a lot of bodybuilders. And these guys carry a lot of weight. And if you look anatomically at your heart and what it does, and you look at your body shape, style, and your metabolism, and then you try and fit yourself into a body style that is that of a bodybuilder, coming from all those different points of metabolism differences, how your internal body stores food and converts it to energy or muscle mass and all these different things. Then you start looking at all these chemical additives, quote unquote, all natural, to help you gain mass and protein shake this and that. But you don't see the damage, and it does do damage to their hearts. It does severe damage to your heart.
Some of the weight loss products have been shown to be really, really bad.
Oh my God. And then, I mean, just look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. That motherfucker looks like he's a freaking dried up tomato, man.
I haven't seen anything of him recently.
That's because he looks like a dried up tomato.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God. because all that weight you carry around, once you get older, if you give up the weightlifting, well, all that muscle turns into fat. Now you have all these health issues.
I saw that with Stallone. Was it between Rocky 3 and 5 sometime? He just let it go.
Yep.
And
there's a lot to it, man. But see, now you're talking to the mentality of a person who was what was it, featherweight or welterweight? I was 137 and 142 weight class division in the Army boxing, silver medalist. And I was ripped and everything. And I was only like 141 pounds. and I was a fast little booger and powerful. So you got to look at maximizing what you have and not try and make it different. Because when you try and make it different, i.e. bodybuilding, adding 50 pounds of muscle weight, that's unnatural. But see, the thing is, we see that as a healthy thing and we're sold as a healthy thing. But have you ever thought if it's natural? Because it's not, which makes it unhealthy in reality. But people don't look at it like that. Most of you bodybuilders have high blood pressure. And that's why they have heart problems. And that's all from fucking pumping. Because again, it's your heart pushing. Pressure, blood pressure has to do with your heart pumping. Your muscles pumping. So most people have high blood pressure who work out hard. It's just a fact of working out, especially if it's unnatural for your body style. I knew this guy. He was 5'4". He was a twin. Him and his brother both worked out. He had a nice '69 Camaro. What was his name? I don't recall right now. He was like 5'4". Like 210 pounds. Got best back Mr. Pensacola in 1984. He was huge, but he was short, and it was unnatural. His brother died of a heart attack. They were twins. They were both bodybuilders. He's fat now, and he's probably going to die because he's out of shape because it wasn't natural for him to be that big.
Yeah. There's the right way of doing it too. Like I remember in phys ed, we were always taught, you want to do your stretching first, do a light warm up, then you do your cardio, then you can go into your weightlifting. You don't want to go cold into it, and not be doing the cardio as well. So you've got to have balance in everything in life.
Yeah, balance is it.
Not that I or anything, but
I don't ever pick up a weight more than 20 pounds. There's no reason. You got to know how to work the muscles if you want them to work properly. And you got to know your body style and stay within your limits, maximize your limits.
He had high blood pressure.
Hardening of the arteries. That's probably some of the health food stuff he was taking.
You think so?
Uh-huh. Depends on what he was taking. And his natural body style and his own metabolism. Metabolism, how your body accepts, digests, and metabolizes things. And if it doesn't do it right, then what happens is you get congested and clogged arteries, hardening of the artery walls, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I'm totally sorry, Mark. I do suggest that you follow that link that JM posted because I know for a fact it'll help. Whether or not it'll be legal for you to use in whatever state you're in. But then again, if you don't tell anyone, is it really illegal? You know what I'm saying?
Well, hold on. How can that be illegal? It's not a drug. It's a natural remedy.
Well, see, the problem is convincing lawmakers that it's not weed.
Oh, for crying out loud. Seriously?
Yes. That's what the problem was in North Carolina. They were passing a law against weed, and they just wrapped up CBD because it's a cannabinoid, and cannabis and cannabinoids sound familiar, so they wrapped them up together without doing any research, and we're fixing to pass a law banning it. And that's how it happens. They're ignorant, passing laws. A bunch of ignorant people passing laws about stuff they don't understand.
It could also be the theory or their philosophy of, oh, if we let this happen, then we have to let that happen. Where do you draw the line, right?
That's why I like staying isolated. And as far as Silver Boy Blues, I know a couple people in my lifetime that have owned gyms, and they actually have special rules that they have to follow to clean up after everybody uses a piece of equipment, like lays down to do a bench press, because you're sweating and body fluids. Problem with passing of diseases is body fluids. People mostly think body fluid transfer happens during sex, but if you think about it, you're sweating at a gym. The guy didn't wipe it down, and you get down there and you're sweating. You just absorbed his sweat or passed bodily fluids. So yeah, it's a highly infectious area if not well sanitized. Another reason why I hate gyms.
And a lot of stuff can come through your eyes too. Like I get a kick when I see someone driving in their car by themselves with a mask on. But their eyes are.
It's a Liptus test, JM. It's a Liptus test.
Yeah, it's got to be. Darwin's having his giggles in his grave right now. Well, not right now, but for a long time.
I also did a video, Mark, to help out with everyone getting healthy, and we gave out his website. Paul Stamens is the Mushroom King. He's got 17 patents for medical benefits and uses of mushrooms, cognitive issues, viral tummy stuff. That's the lion's mane and the turkey's tail, and he's got awesome amounts of stuff that's good for your health.
The other one I heard recently that is really good is running.
There's a problem with running because people say, and again, depending on your body style, if you are a tall person, I would not suggest running, because as a tall person, say like 6'7", 6'8", something like that, you're already stretching, you putting stress on and stretching out your knees and hips because of your unusual height to body ratio. Yeah. Most tall people I know, and if you look at like some of the tallest people in the world, hip and knee issues, and that comes because of the height of the individual. So again,
swimming might be a better option for
yes, and that's where I say getting to know your body style, and then get to know your own metabolism, and then start looking for health things that are specific for your body style and your metabolism, and you will have much better results, and you'll have less wasted money, and you won't be as disappointed. And here's some sickness, but it actually helps. There is a fecal bacteria that has been proven, and this is literally crappy to think about, but it has been proven if you have that fecal bacteria in your gut, you won't get fat. And there are actually procedures for you to have that fecal bacteria added to your gut to help you lose weight. And that's a metabolistic way of weight loss that's natural if you know enough about your system, your body, and other people's bodies. But there are also other ways. But that seems to be the simplest way to lose weight. But people don't like talking about, getting some shit bacteria shoved in their guts so they can start manufacturing it to lose weight.
I could see that though. Like if
it works, it freaking works, man.
So like just
cut away all the weight loss stuff. Just go ahead and get an injection of poop into your stomach.
Well, there's people now that are saying if you're taking antibiotics and whatnot, then you have to go out and get probiotics to offset, the killing that stuff.
Or just eat sour cream and some other stuff like that.
Right. So they're going to
it'll do just as good a job. You got to be able to exist off of what you can eat, not what you can buy to supplement the food. That will keep you the healthiest, because you are what you eat, and there is no truer saying. Heck, one of those mushrooms actually, at the beginning of the show, I believe he said helps kill cancer through a natural means.
Well, at this stage of the game, anything that can help should be on the table.
On the table, indeed. I 100% agree, JM. I should not be the first one telling you guys about this through studies that I've found and information I've found. It should be general knowledge. I 100% agree. And one way to get there is to like, share, and subscribe. So more people, hey, quit it. So more people can get this information. Because I tell you what, man, even if you don't listen to me, man, hook up with the Paul Stamens channel. And then also for seizures, man, hook up with CBDC and Charlotte's Web. That stuff is miracle drug. It's also being kept from us. Except for shows like mine. And also remember these, because I might actually this live stream might actually get taken down. It tends to happen when I give out medical not advice, but medical experiences that I've had, shall we say.
Information.
Yeah. Not advice at all. By no means. Never listen to anything I say. I'm a clown, type like a monkey.
Well, don't forget you've got that banner that you can run across the bottom too, just as a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Which can help. Hey, Finn Shaw, Finn59. We're still live. We are live and alive. Good to see you and everyone. Shh, be very quiet.
Is that good enough?
It's a good one.
Don't listen to me. No, you should never listen to anyone. Any information you get, do your own research. Again, this stuff with this about the weight loss and the medical weight gain, bodybuilding stuff, it's all individual based on your individual metabolism and body style. No one else can tell you anything about it. All they can do is tell you to check out your own personal body style and metabolism and figure out what it is so you can take advantage of it and not waste your time on products that wouldn't work for you and could actually injure you.
Yeah, but so where the value is for anyone that wasn't aware of it, at least being able to include it in their list of things to consider.
Yeah, get to know yourself. It's an awesome thing to know, especially when it comes to, medical stuff. When I was a kid, a doctor always asked, well, have you done anything different? Have you been eating any different foods? They'd want to know relevant things to see things that might have changed that could have caused a health issue. Why? Because they had to get to know you. So why don't you get to know you?
Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you. There, if you didn't get a copy strike earlier, now you will.
Yes, Finn, we are live, soon to be Memorex.
And the truth is, too, at this stage of the game, a copyright claim doesn't hurt you at all.
No, I've been demonetized for a long time, though. That's why after almost 3 years, I'm not monetized, because I demonetized all my stuff.
I'm not monetized because I don't like the idea of them taking 30% on everything. Right? I could have monetized a while ago. I'd be much more inclined just to run a banner saying, if you want to support me or my channel or whatever, here's my PayPal, Cash App, all this, that, the other. That way you don't have to worry about it, right?
That or just don't become monetized.
Yeah. Right? They'll play less commercials. Like, who wants to watch commercials all day?
I'd rather have people come up and have interaction and discussion.
But you know what? Even
passing information like we have, hopefully it'll help Mark Cassidy. I think that would be just the best thing to happen on any live stream.
Yep.
help someone out, man.
Big time.
Another thing, and this is factual, it's not health information. Oh, God damn it, Kent, your claws.
She got him.
I got my heel, man. Anyhow, fasting for 3 days resets your immune system. So if you have autoimmune issues or anything like that, check in for, again, your metabolism, your body style, but check into the advantageousness of fasting for 3 days and see if that, a lot of people don't consider this as a health for your health, but it actually is, because your body has actual natural ways of healing itself. Because long before we thought of health, your body did.
I actually find I do feel my best if I just eat once a day.
You know, that's what I'm down to, brother. Once a day, and if I'm working real hard, it's maybe a snack. And I'm maintaining, 140-ish, no extra weight carrying around for my heart or my joints to carry around. And, it's just, for me, that's the best weight. And, like I said, one meal a day is the best way to maintain it. And I'm not hungry, so, different people's body styles comes into big effect for how you should take care of yourself. And all of that is getting to know what your body style is, getting to know what your metabolism is, and then take appropriate steps for whatever those are. Yeah, it helps, man. A proper diet, meaning not 3 times a day, but the diet for you and your system. The proper one might not be the one you like. You might like to eat, oh, dude, oh, God. Yeah, Neil's known to buy a whole cheesecake and eat that thing in 2 days. Trust me, I go off the hook sometimes, but I don't gain weight because I know my body. And, when I have a craving, I devour the craving and probably won't touch a cheesecake for another year and a half. But then when I have that craving, it's like with Hershey's Kisses. I'll buy a 5-pound bag of Hershey's Kisses and go through it in 2 days and then never touch them again for like 2 or 3 years.
I just bought a bag of chocolate covered almonds today.
Oh, those are awesome, dude.
Yeah, they were on sale, $5 for.
And it's healthy for you, the almond part.
Yep.
And it tastes good because, well, chocolate.
I get addicted to chocolate and sweets, though. I try.
Hey, what's up, Hager? Didn't see you walking the. Yeah, I should have had more tabs. Should have had more tabs. Go ahead, sir.
I just wanted to apologize for 59 Chevys. I'll refer to Finshaw as 59 Chevy in the future.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Yeah. A buddy of mine had a 1956 Chevy wagon that he souped the crap out of it.
I had a 67 Mustang.
Did you? That'd be right on.
That's the best car I ever had. I had the most fun in that car, just driving it.
The 59 Chevys, though, they had the tail fins.
Yeah. They had 2-door, 4-door differences between the two of those as well. The 2-door being more sporty model than the 4-door would be more sedan. But still sporty.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that, Jeffro?
Temptation, I bet.
Italian eating? Man, there ain't nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, you're talking to a guy who spent some time, a couple of years living on an Italian island. Ain't nothing like Italian food, especially if it's coming straight out of the Mediterranean. Oh, nice, Jeffro. The El Dorado. Oh, that's a nice picture of a boat.
There we go. Got to switch it up from time to time.
My dad had a 68 Buick Riviera. Came with a 454 from the factory.
That sounds really familiar.
Oh, dude.
4-barrel too, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
thing. You let off the brake, the tires would peel, but the car weighed like close to 6,000 pounds. It was all steel. And it was a big car.
Automatic transmission only, right?
Yep.
3-speed.
I believe so. Not quite sure. It's been 40 years.
A lot of the older cars were 3-speed, so you really wouldn't get that much acceleration in your first gear.
You have the Super B. It was a 3-speed. Not many of them were made. But it was a sports car, and it all, if you geared it, if it was geared right, what you would hear is a revving engine from first, second to third, and then it would stop because you'd be already at the next stoplight.
Now I understand the fin part too, right? That's referring to the tail fin.
Yeah.
Now I get it. See, it was worth staying up till 2:30 in the morning today.
Yeah, see, learn something new.
I
What
like
else
it.
were you going to do other than watch the Northern Lights? How have they been acting up there anyhow?
I don't get a very good view of it here because I'm too close to the city.
Oh, I was about to say, man, they were seen like a couple of weeks ago. They were seen as far south as Texas. I didn't
Yeah, I got to get out of the city to. I
Yeah.
have to drive.
I live in what's called the Bay Area, and there are 57 cities around this bay. Light pollution, big time. And I go outside right now, I'll be lucky to see probably 12 stars.
It sucks.
It does, big time.
I could drive, about 20 minutes north, and then I'm in farmer country. And,
Yeah, but you're still too close to the light pollutive source.
No, because it's in the north, right? So the city is to the south if you're driving north.
Yeah, but the light expands outward, and you got to get away from that light source. Well, maybe 20 miles might be enough.
It would help. It would definitely help.
I am getting no hours of work. I actually am pulling my annuity, getting them to send me paperwork, and I'll hopefully have a job at least maybe a week or two sometime in October, maybe November. Basically, what I'm counting on is getting 2 or 3 weeks worth of work so my unemployment gets re-upped, because I don't think work's going to be that good.
What about in the can you do? I don't know how the unions work. Could you put up flyers or do
I
some?
don't want to do that stuff. I'm 56 years old, man.
No, but like for painting or
I don't want to do. I do jewelry. I'll do crystallized osmium and lightning crystal. That's what I'll do. Easy shit, high dollar turnaround.
But it's tough to make cash on it this second, though, right?
Yeah, it's a longer term goal, but it's coming through fruition. I'll be actually Silver Boy Blues is a big part of that. We'll be creating some nose rings together, and should have them out hopefully within a month, maybe 20, if not sooner. Got to get back in touch with him, get some details worked out, and then I can start cranking out nose rings and stud earrings. Yep. And then the money will be coming in and going out, coming in, going out. As I'm not going to take any profit till I get to a certain size of amount sold, because I want to have that inventory to where, someone calls and says, I want one. I won't have to say, oh, I've got to have you one made. I want to be, so I'll be reinvesting everything till I can get like 100 in stock, and then I'll start taking profit off of it. Because if you start taking profit too early, you sink the company.
Oh, and I'm sorry, Neil. I'm reading 59 Chevy's comment there about the 1979 Ferrari 308, which immediately I think the Magnum PI Ferrari.
Yeah.
Beautiful car. Small though. I think that's another one that would be tough to get into, in and out of.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I want to get into a solar catamaran about 80 foot long, and then send someone off in the fucking dinghy to get food while I stay in the catamaran.
How about something the size of the boat in this picture? So purely solar powered.
That would work. Solar and wind power.
Yeah, like a big, decent sized boat like that, because that way you don't have to worry about room. The number one problem on boats, right? Luxury boats. Oh, there's not enough room.
Yeah, it depends on how many people you put on it. You obviously have too many people.
Well, this would be good for like 20.
80 foot catamaran will comfortably fit probably 12 people, but if you have like 6, there's more than enough room. It's like having an 1,800 square foot house with your own bedroom on top of that, where 6 people wouldn't be aggravating at all. 12 people might get aggravating after a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why you're going to have water toys. That way you can go diving and fishing, spearing, and kiting, and all this other fun stuff, for which you need other people. So as long as you keep having fun, you probably get away with 10 people on an 80-footer.
So it's at this point in the show where I'd like to say thanks to everybody that hit the thumbs up for Neil.
Oh, yeah, for real. Thank you.
And if anyone wants to join the panel, it's at the top of chat. You'll see the StreamYard link right there. I probably got another 10 or 15 minutes in me.
Yeah, I'll probably end it at the same time you leave, because it's been going for 2 hours, 45 minutes.
Yeah, live stream earlier today too, didn't you?
Yep. I'm trying to do news stations because my phone got turned off. And I just didn't do news. But because I tried to record and then post it, that didn't work for me. So I'm just doing lives. And I figured it won't hurt my channel either. So what the hell? Get more exposure.
Okay. So it looks to me like there's, at least 5, 7, maybe 8 or 9 people watching. If you want to keep going for another bit, I'll take a couple minute break, and then I'm good for a little bit more.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. See you in a bit.
I'll play the theme song to Jeopardy. You're still here? They're right on. Yeah, we need to, work out details, but I already have probably 25 2mm squares I could send to you, Silverboy Blue, so we can get this thing going. But we need to talk more because they got to go back in the bottle, the finished product in the same bottle that the crystallized osmium comes out. Because the one difference thing about this is we got to keep the serial number that came with the crystallized osmium with the piece after it goes in the nose ring, so that way we can still, keep the same security feature, but once it gets put in the nose ring, and then the crystallized osmium can register it as a nose ring 2mm square rather than just 2mm square upon sale, and the person's obtaining ownership and possession of it, which is part of the security feature of the crystallized osmium. It's not only you buy it and hold it in your hand, you have a document that states it's yours in the system, to where if it ever disappears and someone goes to sell it and authenticate it and it comes back being belonged to you, it gets returned to you. Gold, silver, and platinum doesn't have that, you know. So it's just another it's a built-in security feature of that of the metal, like I call the most crypto-like currency metal out there, because of that security feature that's built into it. Yeah, I think it adds to its uniqueness, along with the rarity, should add to the price. But we need to get the first pieces out there, just to get them out there for recognition. And that's where we need to get rid of bottlenecks of production, which we can achieve together with ease, I believe. And that'll lead to other bottlenecks that hopefully we'll be able to navigate. The next bottleneck will be actually getting the crystallized osmium pieces in mass, which I'm hoping several other people are buying smaller quantities, 20 or 50 or so. So, you know, we get like 5 people buying smaller quantities, and then we pool them all together. We'll have like 500, you know. And it won't be as much. It won't take as long as me saying, "Hey, I need 500. Make them for me." It'd probably take them a little while. And that's why I would like to stay on top of everything. So that way I have a small amount of inventory for orders, so I can keep orders going before I say, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's got to be back ordered." Yeah, it will. And everyone's going to make decent money. No, I mean, not a huge amount. I mean, considering the norm of jewelry, you should 100 to a 500% profit margin. And we're going to be probably making 35% profit margin, 30% profit margin, but we're going for high turnaround. And the supply demand curvature, the lower the price, we should turn out more, which should actually gain us more money in the long run because of the amount of sales at a lower price. It works out if there's a lot sold, and there should be a lot sold. Same with the stud earrings. I was actually just looking at the stud earrings today, the 4mm round and the 5mm round. I was looking at a Sparkle 4 and the price of that, because I'm thinking for a stud earring, because it's just a stud for an earring, you really want it to bling, which I think would be a crystal Sparkle 4. And they're like the 5mm are like $300 each, and the 4mm are like $250 or $60 each in Sparkle 4. So 2 of them, we're looking at about $1,000 product, plus probably like $1,200 for the stud earrings. Dang it, you guys! I'm gonna throw you outside. Cats are acting up. Sorry. No, it's going to work out great. We're going to produce nose rings and stud earrings and crystallized osmium. And we're going to buy houses, reasonable houses, not like $1 million mansions, reasonable house. Pay it off, rent it out so it's residual income. Buy another house, pay cash for it, fix it up a little bit, rent it out, have some more residual income. Yeah, it's going to pop, and that's what I want. I want the average person that can afford about a $1,200 set of earrings for their wife or their girlfriend or whatever. So when she wears them out, people will be like, damn. And it's just a stud earring. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing special, and they're going, damn. And that's crystallized osmium does that. And a 4 or 5mm round would definitely do that, no matter what kind of dress or however they were dressed or their hairstyle or whatever. Those earrings would pop. And that's why people get them. You know, exactly. They're like, damn, where do you get those? Oh, we got them from whatever the name of our company is going to be. Which is another thing we got to talk about. Or get all worked out. And it's all worked out. We just need to be on. You got to be aware of all the capital funding that's going to go on, because part of the profits, of course, will go to you, of course, will go to me, but then the rest of the profits going to go to the group of people that we get together with to start a company with, to go to fund that company and the ideas that company is going to present, and profit and market and all this other stuff, and grow and make money off of, and get security from, residual incomes, all kinds of good stuff. What we got here? We have ourselves.
We're back. This is the osmium violin, the most precious violin ever created. I've got it on mute.
It's got gems on it too. You see that ruby there, and that diamond, and the amethyst, and the aquamarine. That thing is loaded with osmium as well. See, I like the inner workings of the gems with the osmium. I think that was badass. I think he shows some close-ups of it in this video.
Yeah.
It's on the top side.
The majority of that is osmium. I didn't even notice the gemstones in it till you mentioned it.
Yeah, no, it's because they work beautiful together. They're very complementary.
Nice.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to put the link in for the last one.
That's all right. They can just rewatch the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, custom guitars too. Yep. Now, silver crystallized osmium nose rings and study rings is the way to get funding for larger pieces, to where profit margin is paying for our larger pieces to be created, and we're not getting money out of pocket to do it. Quiet! I need to go beat this cat. Knucklehead. Get in there. That way. Get. Sorry about that. Kitty cats being kitty cats.
Dang. Yeah, you missed this part, so I just brought it back.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we need to talk more about that too. You know, James is going to be involved with the Silver Boy Blue. Yeah, the gemstone idea is going to be like, well, there's nothing to compare it to because it hasn't been done yet. That's how great it's going to be. And the nose rings and the stud earrings are going to get us the money to get all that together, so the group can make so much money. Gems. I'm seeing topaz. Oh God, that's beautiful. Yeah, right there. See all those gems? They're just blinging right alongside crystallized osmium.
I put the link in the chat for this very video. I don't want to have the music going too much just in case there is a copyright issue.
Yeah, for real. Thank you.
I doubt there's, you might get a claim or something, but I don't want to hide.
Nah, Osmium Institute probably won't do crap.
This is not from the Osmium Institute.
Well, no. It has to be.
It's not.
He's associated with it.
Yeah,
Osmium Violin. It says it right there, the Osmium Violin.
Yep.
It's the Osmium Institute. They're the one who paid for it. That's Egon Wolf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my future boss.
Okay, I didn't recognize the name there.
Oh, no, I was more than aware of what it was. No, he won't give us. He won't give me no copyright. He likes me promoting this stuff.
Rightfully so.
Well, he makes money. I make money. We all make money.
Mm-hmm.
Promotions, where it's at. Now, that's a good thing, Finn, because that girl's going to take all your money and leave you for another man anyhow. She just saved you a lot of money by ditching you, by not paying any interest in you. She saved you a lot of money and heartache. If a woman wants to be with you, she'll be with you. Until then, focus on you having a good life and having a good time. Because that's what's going to attract the girls. They're going to be like, damn, he's got a good life and he's having a good time. I want some of that. All right, yeah, I think I'm going to end this stream. I got to go kill a cat. He just won't shut up.
Have a good weekend. Have a good weekend, everyone in the chat.
I'm going to have my usual live stream tomorrow. So if anyone's interested, you can join us tomorrow. And everyone stay safe, be kind, helpful, and grateful. And I hope that the things we talked about stimulated your brain synapses and got you to thinking and maybe taking advantage of some of the information we passed down for you to research yourself and possibly take advantage of. Silverboy Blues, are you here in the chat?
Have a good night, everyone.
You want to come backstage, Silverboy Blues? You're more than welcome to. Otherwise, I will be ending this live stream. Well, I'm going to end the live stream. I'll wait a couple minutes if you want to come in and chat. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow night. And have a great night.